Oh, hello. We just turned this camera this whole time. Y'all missed it. Y'all missed it. Y'all missed it. Come on in because we just got through doing preparing for love and we had a great conversation. I think we're ready for love now. Are y'all ready? We're gonna do this super panel. Are y'all ready? Come on in. Hey, do me a favor. Shout out to Kojo. He is out for the weekend, so we're hosting it over here this weekend instead of on his platform, like we normally do every Saturday around this time. So, come on through. We're going to get the panel on as soon as we can. But in the meantime, please come in and go ahead and hit that like. If you got some friends that's into Ready to Love, or if they just like listening to people talk ish, go ahead and share. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. There's some hardworking people out here, and to do these lives back to back and work schedule, and y'all know I'm a chef, I gotta work with my hands. It's kind of a lot, you know. I'll get into this week's episode or whatnot. Uh, if you guys have any say, let me know. All right, Crystal, I got you, boo thing. Hold on one second. Oh, excuse me. Eating some spicy ramen just quick, trying to eat it real quick, and then it caught me off guard. Woo. But yeah, let me see. Sorry, I'm trying to send this week out real quick. But yes, this week's episode, tell it. I mean, real thoughts, y'all. Real thoughts, real thoughts. A little dry, a little dry, a little. It could have been a little bit more, going on. But I don't know what more can be going on from it out there all. It, it is what it is. Um, Ace, much love to you, sis. You bowed out of it. The situation is just not for you. I'm not mad at you. You could have called Tori, could have called him and told him that you wasn't going to show up to his date, at least answer the phone and tell him that you ain't feeling it. But it is what it is, and you had to do what you had to do. And hey, we're going to miss you on the screen. Well, I'm going to miss you on the screen because I like your energy. I like your vibe. Your sound is not clear. My sound is not clear. Okay. All right. Let me try to run it back real quick. I'm going to come back in. Give me a second. Oh, yeah, I'm back. How's that? Is that better, y'all? I think I had it open in my phone as well. So that might have been why it wasn't clear. Let me know if you guys can hear me better now. And while you guys are at it, go ahead and throw some of them lime green and blue hearts in the chat for me and your boy Sean. He'll be here in just a second. Can you guys hear me? That's better? Okay. All right. All right. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Come on in. Come on in. Y'all know how we like to do around here. Show the love. Please like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend that tells a friend that talks too much to tell all their friends because you know they will. We're going to get this conversation going and started. I appreciate you guys for coming. If you guys weren't on the last live, because we're doing back-to-back lives right now, like I said, we were just doing Preparing for Love. It's a new weekly segment before Ready to Love panel that we always do now. Well, not always, but we started doing now before we get into this Ready to Love. We have special guests come on, and today we guys missed it. It was Fernando, Keena, and Tyrone, and we brought my ex as well as Lola, you guys' favorite. She was there too. And like I said, we brought my ex. They drilled my ex on questions and stuff, but it was fun. And we had a lot of fun, and we actually got into some real good conversation about like this week's topic and last week's topic as far as ex-lovers and friends goes. So we got into all of that. So if you guys missed it, please go watch the replay, comment below, let us know how you felt about it. And yeah, so we got a few people coming in, and we're gonna get this thing started tonight, you know. But first, like I was saying, if you guys didn't hear me clearly, Ace left us. That was my vibe. That was my energy. I love me some Ace. I know a lot of people might complain she wasn't giving note too much. She was floating in the middle, whatever. But I love her energy, you know. She gave me, you know, little hippie vibes, but I loved her. And I'm sorry to see her go. And baby, that confessional, that last confessional look, I was here for it. I was just like Tori. He was like, why you got to come here looking so good if you're going to leave? You know what I'm saying? Because that last confessional look, that white and black, baby, hey, she was giving what needed to be give. And as Miss Misha say, shout out to Miss Misha, the judge, baby, the judge. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Come on in. Hello, everybody. So, oops, caught you off guard. What up, mama?
Hey, how are y'all doing? How y'all doing? Yes, I'm glad that you said that about this week's episode. I was like, okay, yeah. And I said, is this the episode where everybody doesn't like dating, multiple people? I said that's the name of the game. That's the name of the show. But now people are starting to just like be done with it. So yeah, it was a trip, and yeah, we can get into Ace and the Tory of it all.
Yeah, I don't, before I go there, because I was gonna try to keep it in order because I'll be forgetting
Right.
that.
Yeah,
But
no.
like I part of me wasn't mad because it's like if you don't feel you have somebody or your connection is gone, then the right thing is to check yourself out. Now to
Right.
jump ahead to it, she did tell Tommy. It was like,
Yeah, I thought that. I was like, is he acting? Like, is he faking it? Like Tommy didn't know? That was kind of surprising to me. I just thought that was kind of weird production. Nobody told him. So I
mhm.
just thought that was kind of strange. But yeah, I get why she did it. Uh Tori calling her, Tori calling her while Sabrina's sitting right next to him. I was like,
No,
Tori,
baby. No, baby. See,
no,
I know it was a
no,
passive aggressive move. I know it was a passive aggressive move.
no.
But the petty in me, and I found out he a Leo, so it was a passive aggressive Leo move. It was a passive aggressive Leo move. So the petty in me, because he don't move like a real Leo, like, but
Oh,
you know what? Leo men are a lot different than women. They are a lot different from women. I must say
that's
that,
true.
but the petty in me loved every minute of it because I was just like, because what the truth is, he's over her.
Yeah, they're not absolutely. Thank you, Jay. I said this. I said Tory self-eliminated 3 weeks ago. He's been there physically, but this man checked out after Truth or Dare when they had that when he was wearing that white.
Mhm.
He looked good too. When that with their one-on-one date, they didn't pick back up. They didn't start to, go out. They didn't start to have these conversations on the phone. They didn't. That vibe didn't pick back up. He self-eliminated after that. He knew it was kind of
Yeah, and then
done.
it's like a double checkout after last week's when your ex and I'm sitting there with you and Donovan, and it's like Donovan came out of nowhere. So why
Yeah,
do I need to keep proving to you when you have proven to me that I'm not for you?
right. And him sitting there and eating food and like saying these little jabs at the dinner table. I said, this man don't want to be here. He don't want you no more. He's
Mm-mm.
done. I said,
Yes.
who?
And you the only one that don't see he done because you too busy trying to hold on to him for your own purposes.
And then
Like,
I was like, "You brought you a candle? Like what?" She said, "I was sitting there at just trying to make sure it was a good scent." I said, "You were really making that effort?" I was really.
child, I was like the fakery for me. Okay, maybe
Right.
I feel like that was either a gift from that you had at your house already, and you was trying to recycle real quick because you don't like the scent, or
Hmm.
you just wanted to pick up something because you're trying to impress the friend and be like, "Oh, I'm just this good person," or because he said what he said to you last week of how you not always that nice to him.
Right.
You trying to prove it or whatever.
Now, that's
Now,
what I thought it was. I said,
mhm.
she said, well, he says I'm not always that nice. So let me be nice. Let me go this extra effort and be nice. and let me, if he does say something crazy, the friend will say it's him and not me. I just was like, mm. And that's funny you say, because I'm a fire sign too. I'm an Aries, and I just was like, I was sitting there I was like, is this man a Virgo? Like, why is he just so pensive? He's so really sad. Like I said, oh, this is just Cancer vibes. Like I was like, what is this that you were just so sensitive about it? But he's a one woman man. That's it. He's a one woman man. But sometimes you don't know that this type of show, he's just not made for this type of show. But sometimes you don't know it until you're in it,
environment. Yeah,
until you're in that environment, and you're like, you know what, this ain't for me.
And it could be depending on. I mean, by now you should have watched the show.
Right.
By now you should have watched the show, but it could have been depending on how it was presented to him. Because if somebody's telling me, oh, I got this set up and it's to help you find love, and I'm in the space of wanting to find love, it's like, oh, okay, yeah.
Right.
Then did I listen to everything you said? Probably not. So now I'm on this show and I'm like, oh no, this ain't for me. Wait a minute.
Exactly. Like if he watched Last Resort or what the season that Jay was on or something like that, and he said, oh, I could do this. This is real cool. But then you get, it's not the same type of thing. It's not the same type of thing.
Yeah, but
calling. What was your initial reaction when his friend said, what happened to the other girl? And he said, oh no. What was your initial reaction?
I said, you know what? This is my kind of friends. These are my kind of friends. Because this is really how my friend would be like, you know what? I'm over this one. And I don't know if he gave her the disclaimer. Did he give a disclaimer to his friend of what the relationship was?
That's what I was trying to remember. Did he say that we're rebuilding our relationship? Did he say something to the friend or no?
I can't remember if that was I remember him saying something, but I don't remember if it was in the confessional or to the friend. But if he said something to the friend, you gave a disclaimer to the friend. So the friend is already probably like halfway on you in the first place. So if he gave the disclaimer, I would have, damn it. So here's the catch with us Leos, okay? Because if I'm off you, the disclaimer is I'm not really sure why we got to bring this person, but we've got to bring him because
production told us to.
Production said this is what it is, and so this is where this relationship is. We're a little too honest sometimes, especially with our friends in certain situations.
Right.
But if it wasn't the Leo energy in him coming out, and I'm not trying to be all astrological with it or whatever, but if it wasn't that energy coming out, I would have preferred him to keep it neutral and not say anything, give any disclaimer to the friend. But I don't know what to do in that situation because he doesn't feel her. He's not feeling her. It's the point blank period. He's not feeling her anymore. So it's really, the disclaimer is because I'm not feeling this person. So maybe you can help me see why I'm not feeling this person or whatnot. But if he was feeling her, that's where I'm going to get. If he was feeling her still,
he wouldn't have done it.
Don't give a disclaimer that your friend really vet her out without the disclaimer. That would have been better. But because he's off of her, he's like, bruh, look, this is a situation between us. I got to bring her.
Yeah. You tell me, maybe you tell me what I'm seeing. If I'm seeing it, can this be built back up? Like as a friend, like you were just talking about on your just last show, like the friends can sit there and decipher. Like you tell me, is there still something there, or do I need to just totally get off of her? And that's what I think. That I was like, is that why? So the friend can just try to help him out a little bit, but when he said, I don't know, let me call her real quick, and he didn't even step away to call her. I said, Tori, no, don't do it. Every time. Stop.
I reveled. I'm sorry. I reveled in it. If it was me in this situation, you know what? To be honest, if it was me in this situation, I thought about it because I did think about it from her perspective. And if it's me in the situation, I didn't really see where she was coming from for her, but me in the situation, me myself, I probably wouldn't have been too bothered because I know it's a show.
Right.
And this is a show. So my focus, okay, you would have been bothered, Mustache? Yeah. Okay, cool. Mustache would have clearly been bothered.
Right. He would not be having it.
He would not have been having it. Mustache loves all the focus. But my focus would have been more directed to the friend at that time.
Yes.
You go ahead and call. You go ahead and call. I wouldn't keep sitting there saying this is awkward. This is that. I'm just gonna have a conversation with the friend.
I totally would have done that. I said, why doesn't she just redirect her energy to the friend and them have a conversation while this is going on? I absolutely agree. Just stop focusing on it and talk to the friend. You got somebody else sitting there. But the fact that she kept saying something, she kept reveling in it. I said, oh, you got your feelings are hurt now too.
Yeah.
So, like you said, maybe it was that petty. Maybe it was that just like he's like, you know what? I'm not feeling her. She and I are not, but we haven't been vibing for weeks. I'm just gonna call, see what happened.
And part of me, I don't know if it was just that petty. I just think he's just like over her, and it was more so. Let me get my actual what I'm actually back on feeling on right now. Let me get that here.
Let me get that energy back. He wanted that the good energy that he had with Ace back, because the energy that he had with Sabrina is well past gone.
It's gone. It's like, all right, we don't ask enough questions. I'm over it. Like, but yeah, the friend. He was abrupt with it. It was like, okay, where the other girl at though? Like,
he did. So much so, because you know how we talk about production all the time. I'm like, did production ask him to ask for Ace? Like, I was like, like, why did he do that? I just
that was the other thing I thought too. Because I thought that was like a little bit of a production moment or whatnot. Did they push you to do it? But then I was like, do you guys have something in your ear for you? Because you didn't move. You didn't move from it. It was just more so, let me call her. And I did kind of see he's kind of stuck in there. So it wasn't even like, excuse me, let me
exactly
and move. But I was just like, this, I'm sorry. I love the whole moment because everybody's seeing Sabrina or whatever, but I'm seeing through the BS of her or whatever. And I'm just like, sometimes you got to bring some people down from their pegs. And I'm sorry, that's my petty side. And I shouldn't be like this. And this is not positive energy, but my petty side will do these things, y'all. Okay. I have many facets to Jay, and sometimes they're not all positive.
I'm feeling you on that because I thought about the same thing. I said, you know what? She's kind of giving me Kai 2022. She's really reveling in her how many options she has. And I'm not saying that she's all the way Kai, but I was like, I'm just seeing, like you said, she's kind of giving me Kai vibe. So I hear what you're saying. Like,
and this week's energy, this week's episode, I was like, this is really a good look at her as a whole. Because there was a lot, because she had the most dates that she had to go on. There was a lot of differences in each, and we'll get into them. But there was a lot of things that she was saying that was like for her, but I was like, girl, them the same things for you.
For you,
like, are you serious right now? Ain't that the pot calling the kettle, calling the pot, calling the kettle? Like, huh?
I agree, and we're gonna get into the Sabrina and Demetrius conversation. But I was like, okay. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I hear you on that.
Yes, I was laughing.
Hey, Sean.
Like, oh my gosh. Hey, Sean, wherever you done went.
What's up, Jay? What's going on, Crystal?
Hey.
What up, though? We were just doing an overall, but we were just touching on some stuff of the whole episode just to begin with. Sorry.
No worries, no worries. I heard y'all diving into Ace's mysterious ghosting / leaving.
I do agree with that too. I think he should have called. I mean, yes, there's different ways he could have did it, and like I said, it was a petty way, but he could have got up and went to check to see or whatever. It's all kind of things, but.
Or how about she should have called him and let him know that she wasn't coming?
I agree with that too. I
definitely said that in the beginning. I said, she could have let him know that she could have answered. She didn't even answer.
She could have sent a text, say, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'll explain later. She could have said anything. She did not say a word.
Yeah, I would. It wouldn't have been me calling her. Because if your relationship isn't solidified, that's the most embarrassing thing to do. You're trying to make a move, call another woman in front of your other person you're dating, and then she don't pick up. You look kind of silly. So
yeah, I know that was the only thing that backfired on him
exactly.
too. It was that petty move to call her, like, let me go ahead and check on her, but then it backfired on him because
exactly looking at her like, hello. That we got bad reception.
I think I dialed the wrong number. Hold up. Let me get
Until after
you.
the
Wait a
meeting.
second, I can't. Maybe
Like I don't
Reception
know.
bad over here. I'll be right back,
exactly.
y'all.
Yeah, I would have got up and left and come back. Yeah, I spoke to her. She's under the weather. So
Right. I said he didn't even step away to do that. No, he did it right there at the table.
yeah.
I said, why didn't he just wait till later after
Right.
dinner?
And if she didn't pick up, I'd be like, oh, hold on 1 second. Oh, I can't hear you over here. Guys, hold on. I'm talking to her.
Let me
I got
Right.
Ace right here.
Well, it'd be funny if he put it on speakerphone. It's like, dude, the number you have down is no longer in service.
Hear her voicemail. Please leave a message after the beep. You know what to do.
Thank you.
Thank
Oh
you,
my
Rivian
gosh.
Gal. Thank you. Yeah.
Sean, what was your overall thoughts of the whole episode itself, though?
Womp womp.
We all in agreement on it. A little bit of a snooze fest. I was like, look, this is how much it was. So I got 1 page of notes that I took in 30 minutes. I was like, let me just try to stay on point tonight. But I was like, yeah. Filler episode. So of course we start off with the guys in the men's lounge, and this is this week's guys to do the eliminating. And Tommy is like, it's time to introduce y'all to the homies. And we get a little banter from the guys. Tori don't know what his friend's gonna say. It's like, why do we care what your friend gonna say? Because you don't like nobody anyway. So P.O. had me dying in his banter, though. He was like, my friend might be like, hey, let me know which one you don't want.
But when I looked at his friend, when I saw his friend, I said, oh, yes, he would. I said, oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
They all look like uncles.
Absolutely.
Being that he was the first date, first of all, do you think he was probably trying to like psych him out on one of the ladies? Like, look, don't.
He said, I see your dilemma. I see why you having an issue.
The friend was like, yes. Oh, POJ, come on through.
Please. Carmen ain't thinking about him.
At what age did we learn how to differentiate our J's from our G's? Did we learn how to spell gigolo? I was like,
what age is 5th grade now? I got to try to remember because I think we're a little too grown for 5th grade not to know. Okay, we're gonna leave it alone. Everybody wasn't advanced. Sorry. All right. I'm not gonna, he doing his thing and he's good. Some people are not good at certain parts of school. That's just all it is. Some of us excel in sports and we can't do a math problem to save our lives. Some people do reading, some people do this. We all got things. I was math and science. Don't ask me to do anything else. I don't want to do it. That's what it was. So, I might have mixed up some J's and some G's too. I wasn't the spelling champ. It is what it is. All right. I still don't know how the P.O. is his middle name start with an O.
So I was thinking that his last name starts with an O. Is it his last name or his middle name?
I don't know. Something. Yeah, but okay. So it's P.O., Dakia, and Carmen, and Tina was a no-show.
Yeah, we had 2 no-shows.
Yeah,
no-shows. Tina and Ace.
She was a no-show for P.O. She showed up for Donovan, but I guess with P.O. she said it was babysitting issues. She did say it was babysitting. That's what P.O. said.
Is that what he said? Because I thought he said she was being evasive. Like she wasn't picking up.
I thought it was babysitting. That's okay. Y'all tell us in the chat. Was it babysitting or evasive?
Whatever it was, she showed up weird again. So now, if we didn't know before, I'm definitely going back with what her ex was saying. She's problematic.
Then, so we put in a filler. I was like, why? Why do we have a filler? Why is the kid here?
Okay, well, he brought in a filler with Dakia, but can you tell me, okay, what did y'all think of Carmen coming in and Carmen's little, I feel like Carmen loves the jabs and with the blue contacts again. Yeah. Oh man, I'm sorry.
Maybe some people, sometimes we need contacts we're seeing. I don't know which pair of these for. I don't know if these is her, driving contacts or not. You know what I'm saying? Maybe when you go to long places, long distance, I got to put these contacts in. I don't know. I had my contact phase way back in the day when they first came out. When color contacts first came out, I got them then, and it took me a little while to revert. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say it was the last couple of years. I was still in some color contacts. I finally came out to accepting my eyes again. Like, these are mine.
I'm wearing contacts right now.
I wear clear contacts because I can't see. I really can't see, y'all. But I was in colors for like up to the last couple of years and stuff. But mine's kind of like, blended into me. So I don't know.
I'm gonna stop teasing her about it.
They weren't blue.
So he said that he really likes Takia, but they never had an actual date.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where he really likes her, and I don't know where she feels so comfortable to say that, he's makes her feel secure to answer any questions from the friend or whatever and all this stuff like that. I was like, you guys have no interaction, and we got that by their date later on. You have no real interaction, and to me, it's like Takia. This is my honest opinion. Y'all can stand by it if y'all do or whatever. Takia is fishing for somebody. Joy is connected to Clifton. She knows that she could compete if she want to or whatnot. Demetrius has no interest in her. She done got rid of Eric. Donovan is off. He got 3 other options. Tori is a friend. Who else is there right now? Who else?
You just named everybody. Demetrius.
That's everybody, huh?
Named everybody. Donovan.
So she's searching for a connection. To be honest. So I don't see where it's like you could have had this connection. To me, it's like this is not making sense because you and him were there day one. That's how I look at it. You two were there day one, and so for you not to have built any information up to even dismiss this man off, you were never interested in the first place to try to get to know him. So why all of a sudden is let me see how much of a good guy you are? Because some of the questions that they were asking on their solo date was questions that should have been asked
on day one. I agree with that. I just don't understand where this came from. Yeah. I think it was a filler date, just like you just said. I think it was a filler date. It made no sense to me. Yeah.
That's why I was kind of like, with last week's episode, I know I wasn't there for it, but I was just like, that's part of my reason why I would have said, or was it last week or the week, whenever that incident between her and Eric took place, it was more so, why are you still there?
Yep. But you know what's so interesting? When all that happened last week, I said, she will not self-eliminate. For some reason, I said, she's not going to self-eliminate. I wasn't sure about him. And of course, we found out that he definitely he's self-eliminated. But I said, Takia is not going to self-eliminate. She will not self-eliminate. So, but, and, on our show, on Misha and I, we do our review tomorrow. And Misha said she's everybody's number 2. She's everybody's number 2. And I said, yeah, she will not self-eliminate. So I just thought, if Eric goes, who else does Takia linked up with?
No, because all her top choices are gone. She got rid of Wiley, which was one of her top choices. Clifton is her top choice, but he's choiced up with somebody else, despite how she wants to play it or whatnot. Eric is gone, and like I say, we went down the whole other list. You have nobody else. I don't know, Sean, what you think?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think most of her top options are gone. I think that her energy seems to be like she wants to stay in the game. So the type of, unlike somebody like Tori, who is more trying to settle in on one person completely, I think she's just open to the options. So she's like, all right, if this don't work, let me see what's going on here. Which in a show like this, I think you need that person who is more open to kind of seeing connections amongst different people. So I do like that about her. I think that she's got like an open attitude, but not really my cup of tea. But I think like I like the fact that she is open about the process. And she doesn't seem to be, catty versus Carmen is very catty, which I think that just reads as unattractive. She's a little snarky. I didn't like when she came in on the date and the friend was like, you know, do you know POJ? And she was like, I don't know who that is, but his name going forward would be Paul.
Yes, she did.
I'm like, come on, lady, relax. You're new to the scene. That kind of energy coming in, just already lets the person know he's going to be who you want him to be. And again, I think the personas are whack, but if that's what he likes to do, if that's their little funny banter, let him have his moment. That's his boy. That's how they carry on. Kill Bill, Chill Bill, whatever the name is. You know what I mean? Like that's what they do. So don't come in, regulating. I think like that whole energy, was unnecessary. And then just her whole attitude, her face was all turned up at Dakia. And she's always has that energy with her, and I don't understand why. Whether it was her and Eric, and now it's her and Paul, I don't get it. I think it's totally unnecessary. So,
did she say after Dakia left? Did she say cut the zero and get with the hero? Did she say? Okay. All of these little jabs she does is just like
they both take little jabs at each other, with it's like slowly coming out more and more, because when you watch Dakia as she continues, she does her own little thing. Them two are so much alike, not just aesthetically or whatnot, but they are so much alike. If you really pay attention to this episode, now Carmen is full on, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say about you per se, but Dakia has her sneak disses up in there too. And as it came out, she's been slowly doing her little thing too, as far as competing, and just, I don't know if competing to actually land somebody or just competing to win, like she claimed Carmen is doing and stuff. So I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't seen Dakia is with the sneak disses. I don't put it past her though. So I mean, you do have a point there, a little bit alike, but at the same time, Carmen is full force out front with it. It's just,
if you're sitting here saying in your confessional, didn't such and such say that you shouldn't be wearing these contacts? You're feeling the same way too, or whatever and stuff. You with the sneak, you might dress it up in a cute little package and put a bow on it.
More ladylike with it. Okay.
Yeah. I like the air quotes on the ladylike, because sweetie, we're gonna get into that too. But
yeah, I guess I see it as, because Carmen came out the gate. So I think that at the end of the day, when somebody doesn't like you, like if somebody doesn't like you, right, and they've been very upfront about it, at a certain point, you're going to hit them back with a couple of ones and twos too, right? And I don't think Dakia is a sucker. So Carmen has been coming at her since Eric. And if she's that vocal, on camera, there's constantly moments where she's just kind of nitpicking. So I feel like in this instance, Dakia is like, you know what? Psst, I got you. Didn't Clifton tell you about them blue eyes? Here you come showing up again with them blue eyes.
Yeah.
So, and she said what we all have been saying. So it was spot on. The little nasty jabs that Carmen is doing it reads more as insecurity to me. She doesn't, she just wants to get rid of Dakia. She doesn't want her around because she's either senses her as a threat or she's an annoyance to her. So that's the part where, I don't like Carmen's energy and her attitude. You come in with this big chain on your neck that says powerful, but it's not coming off powerful. It's coming off petty. You should have wore a chain that said petty, because that's the energy that she's rocking with. So that's kind of how I feel about her.
I dig that.
I totally agree with that. I hate that force field coming across her, and I hate that. And again, what do we always say? If you are powerful, or if you are, what do we say, alpha or whatever, you don't have to say it. You don't have to have a necklace that says it if you are those things. So
Hey guys.
What up, Seaway?
Hey.
What's going on?
You made it out the chats and all here?
I did, straight out the shower. I had to get my workout in. I had to.
You left me for dust, Seaway. No Peloton, no Peloton paddling today, huh?
That's Cap. You were invited. I told you. Cap.
She left me for dead. What in the world? We got a troll in here, folks.
time
What the
troll.
hell?
Big time troll.
I'm not Kim Jong.
Got him? Okay. Whoa. What
Kim
the hell?
Jong.
Well,
Yeah.
we done blocked it. We done
We
blocked
done
Kim
blocked
Jong
her.
and
We done
all
all
that.
jumped on it. But yes, go ahead, Seaway. Tell us how you feel about this PO, the Kia Carmen and No Tina date.
Yeah, I'm such a girl's girl. Carmen's energy is just yuck. It's just like big yuck. I hate her energy. Every time she's on the screen, I'm like, is she acting? Is this another Ready to Love audition? Since that's what they like to do. I couldn't tell if that's why she was giving this energy. Like if she was trying to play like the villain, she's trying to give herself the villain at it. I think she's trying to give herself the villain at it, but it's not working. It's just coming across as like petty. That's all it's really coming across as, and it's just like womp. I do think that Dakia finally took a jab at the color context because, like what you said, Jay, she knows she's taking jabs at her and being nasty towards her, so she gave her a little jab. Whatever. I wasn't mad at it, but Carmen is just literally here to stay to the end, or as long as she can be seen. I don't have to repeat this again, but I will. I just literally do not get why everyone is so obsessed with staying to the end on this show. It's just so upsetting. It upsets me and my homegirls. Sean has no idea where that came from, by the way. Me and my homegirls. It's upsetting me and my homegirls. He has no idea where that came from. Side note. Shout out to Bella.
We call inside jokes. But I get it. I get that same energy not only from Carmen but Dakia as well. It's a few people, Tori, Dakia. It's a lot of people just staying on the show just to stay on the show at this point. And and maybe we can't have. I mean, we really can't have everybody self-eliminate.
I wish they would. I wish they would. I know some people don't like the self-elimination. I love the self-elimination. If you were on there to find love and there's no one on the show for you, then leave. To me, that's what the reason why you can't do that on Masks and other things is because you made a commitment to a particular person. So it doesn't make sense to leave. If you made a commitment to that person, at least you can do is finish out the process with that person. But yeah, and I think Aisha said this on her live. One of the few things I did agree with that live. She said that from season to season, it has gotten worse and worse as far as like people being on this show to actually find love. And that's why people are divesting from this show, because it's like, Dakia, you have absolutely nobody on this show. Now you're trying to pay attention to Paul. You were not checking for Paul this whole time. Now all of a sudden you're checking for Paul. Like, come on now. You obviously see that Clifton likes Joy, but Clifton's entertaining her, so I can't really even be that mad at it. And it's like, P.O. really ain't got nobody. He's reaching for straws, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of pointless. The show is getting kind of stupid.
That's what I was thinking, because I'm like, if everybody at this point, if their self-elimination was an option, we would be watching nobody but Joy and Clifton.
Exactly. That their date was their friend date was the only thing of substance that made sense. I was like, throw the rest of them away. I mean,
really, that's how I feel at this point. It'd be like sucky to watch, unless we start integrating some more people, like out of nowhere or something. But
Sabrina, we'll see about. I'm interested to see what happens with Sabrina and Donovan. I think that's kind of the only other interesting connection left is what's going to go on with them. But Sabrina is still ridiculously focused on Demetrius. That's his name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's focused on him, and she played Tori. So I'm like, you're not ready to love either. So it's just kind of like, when she played Tori like that, I kind of disconnected from the show, because I'm like, you know what? Y'all are not even serious at this point. You're running after a man who's clearly emotionally unavailable, and
and wanting everything that another man is giving you, but not
Yeah.
from that man.
She wants connection. She wants that individual attention. She wants somebody to give her gifts. She wants all of those things that Tori was giving her out of Demetrius.
She wants to be a leader.
She wants to be a leader, but Demetrius ain't here for that. Mm-mm.
And won't
I think it's great because it is symptomatic of what a lot of women do in the dating scene. You know, they'll ignore the guy that really likes them,
The nice guy.
and is the good guy, and go for the guy that's sometimes the not so good guy, or is not giving them as much attention. You know, so it does happen.
And we spoke on that before. It's like something about that mystery. Sometimes it just draws us in. That when you're still in your dark arts phase, or when you're not really serious, that's what you start doing. You going for things that don't want you. You know what I'm saying? The best advice a friend gave me was like, actually go for somebody that wants you. Stop going for people that don't want you. You know what I'm saying?
That loves you more.
Yes.
You know, see what it's gonna say. But no, true. But
That honestly is the major key. And these women keep trying to go from these mysterious Negroes. Let him be mysterious by himself. Like, honestly, that's when I knew. I'm like, Sabrina, you have a dude. Clearly, like, I'm pretty good at spotting dudes that are faithful. Tori looks like a dude who's gonna be faithful to the point where he's gonna agitate you. He's gonna be so faithful. He seems like that type of dude. He seems like a type of dude, like if he's with you, he's gonna be with you, and that's gonna be it. Like, Demetrius seemed like he has a wife on one block, another wife on another block, and he seems like all of y'all gonna be in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant. And that just doesn't seem like that's what Sabrina wants. So it's like, why are we still here? Why are we still talking about this? And Donovan is just a giant size question mark. I don't have anything good to say or bad to say about him. I really don't know. I feel like we haven't gotten a chance to know him very well. So
yeah. Well, since we on Sabrina and Tori, let's talk about their date with Ashley, his friend Ash, and the no-show of Ace. We kind of touched on it a little bit when we were just talking about Ace earlier, Seaway. So we let you go ahead and start it off, but we were just really talking about Ace more so about her no-call, no-show.
Oh yeah, I heard y'all. I think the date was fine. It was a smooth date, but I feel like Sabrina's playing games. She brought that gift because she wants to have all her options. I don't know. I don't understand this point of like dragging these dudes along, whatever. She brought the date so she can come off as impressive and caring and generous, but it's all for show. It's all cap. But the date overall was fine. I feel like Ashley, aside from being rude, which I think was production, I'm pretty sure that was all production. I thought they were vibing, but Ashley saying to Tori that y'all look good as far as looks wise, and that's all he really had to say, is very telling. To me, it's just like their connection was just kind of off. Tori is still mad, but he's still there, which I don't understand if you're mad while you're still there. I think he wants Sabrina to make a 180 and he's not getting it, and he's holding on until she changes, and she's not. She's still saying Demetrius is her number one connection for whatever reason. I don't know.
Right.
So, the date was cool.
Yeah. Sean? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Crystal.
No, I was just going to say, and because her attitude and how she's been moving is so off, her bringing that gift and saying, oh, I was making sure to make sure and smell all the smells and everything. And I was like, girl, stop playing. But that threw him off too. He was like, that makes me just really put my guard back up, because I just don't, that it makes me question why she brought me this gift when she knows that we haven't been on the same page in a while. So yeah.
Sean?
So I mean, I think Sabrina will figure it out, and I think what's probably going to turn her off is the more she thinks about this whole submissive comment, because that seems like that was kryptonite for her. So I think she'll get hip to it. She just needs to see it. I don't foresee them choosing each other down the line.
Oh, Demetrius?
I don't think so.
I don't either.
Demetrius is going to choose himself. I see him doing that.
Listen, at the end of how she moving, I would choose myself too, or whatnot. De Sosa said a good thing right here. Sabrina will walk all over Tori. And you know what? It made me think, especially when you were saying something, Crystal and Seaway. When I used to date guys and I feel like I could walk over you, I don't want to talk to you. I didn't want to talk to you. I just didn't want that pushover of a guy. That just, I don't know. I can have a strong personality in a relationship sometimes, and so I don't want that, because then I have to start making all the decisions. I have to start doing all these other things, and you're gonna just say yes just because it's me, and I don't kind of like that. Sometimes I can make some bad decisions. Correct me, like let me know if I'm messing up somewhere. Help me out somewhere. And I like to be submissive in my relationship, so it's just like I can kind of see maybe that's why she's not put on, because that quick turnaround of, oh, she bought me a gift, and women don't really buy men a gift to waste their time. Like, yes, we do. And we will quickly recycle a gift for nothing. Like, I just want to get this out of my house. Here, take it. You can have this. Like, that was just so puzzling to me. I was just like, he was going so good at first. He was like, yeah, I don't know why she doing this. We ain't got no real connection. And then come out of nowhere. Yeah, women just don't give you no gift to waste their time. Like, I don't know what women because men give gifts to waste your time. So I don't know what you're talking about. Like, bruh, people will do some weird things just to keep you around. And they don't want you. Stop being naive to this situation. And like you said, Crystal, he's trying to help, or Seaway, I don't remember which one. He's trying to make, no, Seaway, he was trying to make that 180. Like, come on, bro. She's not going to do it.
Yeah, he's trying to hold out to see if, and that's why I think that he wanted the friend to say, well, maybe there is something there. Remember, we were saying earlier, this man checked out a couple of weeks ago after that, but he's trying to see if maybe there's still something there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was checked out too. I'm checked out on both of y'all because I'm tired. I'm tired of this scenario. Sean, you touched on the Demetrius and Ken and Sabrina date. That was the next date that was up. Puzzling enough, they came dressed alike. They really came dressed alike to like the T. I was like, oh wow, this is interesting. Y'all both got a black turtleneck on and these little checkered pants or whatnot. I was like, interesting. Funny, but it was going good. And I did notice this. With all the dates, she hugged this person. She hugged his friend, but she gave handshakes to everybody else. And now I understood the handshake to Tori's friend, because it's like, yeah, this is more of a business meeting than a date. But Donovan's friend, Phil, I didn't understand why you didn't give Phil a hug, because I thought she was feeling Donovan. So where that switch up, I don't know. But we'll get there. But yeah, the Sabrina and Demetrius thing, how y'all feel about this submissive word again? Here we go. He wants somebody submissive. First of all, let's figure out what you guys think that he means by submissive and what she means by submissive. Anybody can go. All right, I'm gonna make y'all. Okay, Crystal, you the move. Let's go. Y'all know how to go.
I was so wanting Sean to go first. I was like, no, go in order. She was very much like, I'm a leader. Like, wait, stop, pause. Like, I don't even know if he described what exactly he meant by submissive. And he's so stone-faced in his face that we don't know if he could even describe it if he knew. So I kind of feel like he did want that. And, y'all, we've had these conversations about the word submissive a lot. So if he wants a truly submissive woman or and docile, or does he want somebody that just when they need to be, like, he's, at what point? We don't know what he means by submissive. I think that she was very vocal about saying, I'm a leader. I don't know how to be submissive, and this is me, and this is who I am. So I kind of felt I didn't get that she, I felt like previously that she could be that person to be, listen to what her man has to say and, be that partner and not just a leader and forthright. I hadn't gotten that from her before. I did think that a lot of people thinking, oh, nice, sweet Sabrina. Last week with Laverne, I said, oh, that LA came out of her real quick. I said that California girl, don't underestimate Sabrina, and everybody that's underestimating her. She can come with it. So I did not. I don't underestimate her, but I just didn't get that she wouldn't be submissive when the time was right. So I just think him saying that was very interesting and very telling. So I also think that they're trying to put a wedge. She wants it to work so bad with Dimitri. So I feel like that was the thing that could make her second guess it. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm. Seaway.
I think the submissive word is triggering because everyone has 5 billion different definitions of it. But for me, it was a red flag on both sides. For the friend saying, I want somebody submissive and making it a declaration, to me, gives me barefoot and pregnant. I don't know if that's his definition, but that's the way I read it. That's kind of what I took from it when his whole friend had to announce that he wants somebody submissive. To me, seems a bit extreme. But her saying that I want to lead, I mean, I'm a pretty headstrong person. I think it's pretty obvious if anyone's listened to me. And I kind of, to a degree, I live my life how I want to live it. But even I am not going to say I want to lead because I really don't. I don't want to lead. So I think someone saying that they want to lead, they're on the way other spectrum.
Yeah.
You cannot like this like traditional word of like I want a submissive woman. I can see like, not wanting to do that, but I'm also not going to say I want to lead. So for me, y'all are on polar opposite sides of and then she's been married for 7 years, and it was a red flag that she said, I don't even know what submissive means. And I was like, weren't you married for 7 years? Like at no point you guys should have been submitting to each other. That means that both of y'all shouldn't have been married, because I don't know what the hell y'all were doing in this said marriage. Like you guys are supposed to be submitting to each other. That is what the Bible say. And I don't be Bible thumping in no way, shape, or form, but I do know that. And I know, so I was really, confused about why when she said, I don't even know what that looked like. I was like, girl, red flag to you, red flag to him, red flag to both of y'all. And y'all are just incompatible. Go dominate Tori somewhere. That's what you should have been doing instead of trying to lead Demetrius, because he ain't following you. And I just feel like at her, after having a whole marriage, I would think she would have more clarity about what she wants the second time around. And it seems like she's floating like she's 25.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really odd. I think if I was post a whole 7-year marriage, which is a significant amount of time for 2022, okay, that's a long time, I would have more clarity about what I want.
Right. And again, I didn't get docile out of her, and I didn't get this, like you said, headstrong leader out of her before this. And then, but she just kept saying all kinds of stuff. Like, I don't know what that looks like. I'm a leader. I'm all of these things. And Demetrius just sat there, just like going back and forth and going back and forth. And another thing, Demetrius told his friend to come at her pretty hard. He said that. He said, no, I really want him to ask her the tough questions. And then when he did start asking the tough questions, he's like, hey, man, you're going pretty hard. I said, there's something at play here. Yeah, I do agree with you. There's a red flag on both ends. That's it.
Sean, how you feel on it?
So listen, and this is why I'm so glad, Jay, we are on the same page. I'm glad you let the ladies go first, because it is definitely one of those words that gets people's backs up against the wall when they hear it. And even Demetrius acknowledged that he understood that. So I'll give him some credit in the sense that he knew that it was coming from a strong place. And I think sometimes when men say that, sometimes they're coming from the biblical sense, and sometimes they're talking from, shall we say, the red pill playbook, right? So you have to also suss out where it's coming from, right? And that submission is sometimes thrown around like a blanket term, that it just becomes automatic, and it's not necessarily something that should just be given automatically, right? So I get that side from the lady's perspective. For me, what it means is that you respect me. That's when I think of submission, I think of respect. I think of, if we are in making decisions, do you trust my judgment? If it comes down to who's going to make a final call on something, you respect me to make the decision that's best for the both of us and not in a selfish context, right? So that's what I think of when I hear the word, or that's what my idea of it is. But I know enough to know that you don't just start throwing that word around early on in the dating scene. You will see the signs of whether someone is submissive or not. You will see how they behave. You will see how they handle conflict, right? Those will give you some ideas, right? You know, if it's down to, you know, what are we going to do with date night? What do we want to do? Is the person or coming straight forward with an agenda, or do they say what they want, and then are they willing to hear what you want to do as well? Right? That is submission, right? This is what I would like to do, but I'm open and willing to hear what you would like to do. Right? So I think that is the part that most men are looking for, because we know it's 2022, right? So we know that we're not going to be out here, you do this, you do what I say do. But I think sometimes people don't know, because there are men out there that are super controlling, and they want to avoid those men. When I listened to Sabrina's response, I didn't hear that she wanted to lead the relationship. She was speaking from me, what I heard is the typical modern woman's perspective. She said, I want to be able to, there's things that I want to do in my life, and I want to be able to make those decisions. I don't want somebody else telling me what to do. That's me paraphrasing what I heard from her, which, okay, we get that. Right. And even her ex, I believe, said it, because of what she does for a living, the activism, you know, she's in a lot of different spaces where she is fighting for the rights of others. So I see that there's some sensitivity for her for people to come and tell her what to do. Right. So again, I would be challenged to believe she doesn't know what submission is from being married 7 years, but I don't think she sees it in that context. And perhaps, being who she is, a lot of husbands operate and manage their day-to-day in a very different way. And perhaps he gave her the freedom to do that, right? And knew what her boundary was, and didn't step on her, but knew that there was some mutual respect, right? So again, I'm speculating. I have no clue. Maybe they did break up because she is very headstrong. She did acknowledge being headstrong, so I think that is another aspect of it. But I think that a part of her, and this is what we kind of do sometimes, and I'll end here. I think, like, there's a part of us that knows what we need, so we will go after that, even knowing that sometimes that's going to be the very thing that challenges us. But she knows that if she's really looking for love, yeah, she could be with Tory and probably boss him all around, but is that what she needs? Right? Is that what she instinctively needs and wants? And I really don't think that she is drawn to that, because she knows it's not what she needs, and it's probably a little unattractive to her that somebody is so all over themselves to do whatever they want for her at her very grown age. That's what I would have to speculate. You know, doesn't mean she's right for kind of like toying with Tory, but I think that she probably knows a little bit of that inside.
Mm-hmm. Now, okay, so I'm gonna say this. I agree with what your definition of submissive is. I agree with Seaway as well, especially when you're in a marriage, that you should be submissive to each other. It's a balance. I'll give my definition of where it comes as far as to me as a woman. When I say I like to be submissive in it, that means that I don't want to have to sit here and make all of these livelihood decisions for us. I want to be able to trust that my partner can make good decisions with me involved. And I can trust that it's more so of a trust factor for me. Right, regardless if it's in the bedroom, if it's in real life, it's outside, it's a trust factor that I trust that he's going to keep me safe. He's going to protect me to this degree that I need my protection is, and I can handle the rest. It's not being docile. It's not that I don't have my own opinion, my own thoughts, my own movements. You know, I can still do what I need to do. I can still go here, make my moves that I need to make. And that's where I think Sabrina is missing what that word means when I hear her talk. You were being very nice, Sean, of how you trying to say it. But when I heard her talk, it was like her relinquishing all her rights. And that's how she was looking at it. And I'll give how I feel Demetrius might be looking at it and his friend is looking at it is almost on the same page. They're both on the same spectrum of, I need total control of the situation. She wants her total control of the situation, even to the point that she wants to somewhat control her partner's situation. Because when I heard it from the friend last week, when the friend sat there and said, oh, she needs to be involved in the conversation or whatever. And then she went into the point of saying, see, I even give good things this or whatnot. That led me to believe when her and Laverne's situation fell out at the end, she was at a heightened state because she didn't have the control anymore. She needed to control that whole thing. And that's going to be a problem because if I feel like she didn't have it, maybe in her previous relationship, maybe in her marriage, she didn't have it to the degree she want. And I might agree with you on that part of what she's doing now. You know, you're putting other people's lives, you want to be in control of other people's lives, but that's not your home. When you come home, it's almost like how Dakia said, I'm a boss out there. I don't want to come home and be a boss in the house. So why do you have a problem with being submissive in your house? Why don't you know what submissive is when you were married? That's a trust that you should have for your partner. And like you said, that's a respect you should have for your partner, that you can go to him and trust that he's going to make a good decision for you. So why is that so much of a problem for you that you don't even know what it is, that you truly don't know in all your years living, you don't know what it is? So your form, whoever has taught you what submission is meaning to be docile. Somebody that you've seen in your past, or your family or whatever taught you how to just sit there, not say anything and just, a lady don't say nothing, just be seen. That's what you were taught. And that's what I'm getting from her. And so right now, if she didn't have it in her past relationship, in her marriage, what she's fighting for is to keep all her control. Because all she was talking about is, I don't want to change my lifestyle. I don't want to give up all I worked for. I don't want to let go of all of this I built up. You don't have to let none of that go. Actually, a relationship that is good for you, that you could truly be wonderfully submissive in, should be excelling all of those things about you. But at the same time, you're able to trust that your man is leading you in the right direction, that he got a good business sense for you, you know? And so that's where I found, like Seaway said, there's a red flag on both sides. There's a red flag from her for not knowing how to even know to give a good definition, or to even ask, what is your definition of submission? That'd have been my next thing. What is his definition of submission? What do you guys mean by this? Explain it to me, because yes, there is so many different definitions out there. So I need to know, what is yours? And let me see it. Do I fit in that? And on the other side, there's red flags from Demetrius, you know, because I feel like his is on that same extreme as I need control. When he sat there and said, I'm not used to including the woman into the day-to-day, everyday things that we got going on. That's a problem. Why you can't go to your girl and be like, hey, babe, yeah, I want to buy this new refrigerator. What do you think? Which one do you think you want to go with? Like, you know, I want to go, let's go grocery shopping. Like, you going to bring all the groceries? I don't have no say on what we eating. So that's a red flag for me. And I just think, I don't know why we're forcing this relationship between the two, because they're both on the same spectrum. They're both on the same side. They're not even polar opposites. They're literally both on the same side of it. They just want the full control of their relationship. And that screams some type of lack of trust. And I'm losing my other word right now, but I want to say that what is screaming, but it's just like you have some things that you need to work on. because there should really be a balance. You should be somewhere in the balance to say, okay, I have a give and take with my partner. Go ahead. I landed my plane. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I don't think too, lastly, I don't think she's a Christian in that sense. I don't see any of that. So I understand the biblical aspect of it, but I don't think that's who she identifies as. If I had to put a stab in the dark, and I'm not trying to make a outward statement, but I just don't see that. I don't see her leading with that. If you look on her social media profile, she don't even have a Bible, a believer. She says everything that she's about. You pretty much can get a glimpse of who somebody is. So I think that's probably where, even if she were to accept what everyone is saying from a biblical aspect, she would get that if that's where her core understanding of relationships came from. And I don't think that's where it comes from,
I can see that. I definitely can see that.
I was just gonna say we didn't hear what Dimitri had his idea of submission is, and it led us to believe that it was total control, as you just said, Jay. It was this docile, submissive woman, and not a mutual exchange of trust and consideration. And that's what I got. And I just felt like her, and maybe he said it, and they didn't put that, they didn't, keep it in. And all we got was her definition. All we got was, I'm a leader, I'm this, I'm that, and her going and giving this list of things. But I do see your point that in that 7 years, there wasn't a mutual exchange or a mutual understanding of what submission means to her, what submission means to him, and where we can come and meet in the middle. And she may have not felt like she had control in all aspects or in certain aspects. And so she needed to feel like she, got her control back. I just think that there's both on both ends. Submission means definitely trusting your partner and trusting that that man has got your back and that he has your best interest in heart, and that and listening to each other, but listening and letting letting that man make the right decision for you and your family. But yeah, and it absolutely paramount is trust. And honestly, I just get the feeling, like you just said, I think it was Jay that just said that they're not going to choose each other. But I also think she wasn't sure. Remember in the very beginning when Dimitri started to pull back, and then at the little pool party or whatever, he came back together. I said, there's something that she just sees how quiet he is, and she's just not going to trust that he, that he's going to, express that he's interested. Like, he's always going to be this guy that she's not going to be totally sure of. So yeah, she just doesn't trust. She just doesn't trust. That's it.
Yeah, and that part too, I get is, it was probably said a certain way, and that's why she came off a little bit defensive with it. I mean, if you tell me I just want a woman barefoot, house in the kitchen, it's like, oh yeah, well, bro, I've been doing what I've been doing since I'm 14, so that ain't gonna be happening, So, but I don't know. There's a better way. If you don't choose the word submissive, people won't get triggered so fast. But even with that triggering, just ask, what is your definition? What is your definition of it? And then we can have a conversation from there. Then it won't be so defensive.
He needs a Aisha type, because she wouldn't have stuttered at the answer to that question
At all.
So
like, oh, he got to pay all these bills. Oh, okay. Okay.
She wanted the rest in her feminine. Well, we see what that got her, but
she didn't pick one that was paying all the bills. He's half and half.
He submit to the right submitter.
You gotta be submissive to the right one.
Yeah,
that part. But that's what I said, is that's a part of that trust too. It's like you trust yourself to know who is your right one. Even if, like Sean, you said, you need to know submissive in the Bible terms, but even if you use it like what is that? Is it SMM? Am I saying them initials right? Whatever the sexual term it is, or whatever, it's still a trust. It's still a trust factor as being a submissive in that. Huh?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
You know what
but
you're
it's
talking about.
still in that factor of being a submissive in that, it's still a trust thing. Because for you to be trying me up, bonding me up, I got to trust the hell out of you.
You know
That
the
you
safe
ain't about to do
words.
some crazy stuff or leave me there. So it's just like when you said the whole thing of submission is I have to trust your leadership. And something about her not knowing and just unable to feel like she can trust somebody, that's a big red flag to me. Like,
Yes.
baby, how are you married for so long and you don't trust nobody? And I can't say that you don't trust them because maybe something happened in your marriage that's giving you some things, but you're just not ready then. You're not ready. Thank you, Mark.
Safe words. Yes.
We got a lot of folks educated. You know, we got a lot of 50 Shades fans because everybody's coming out with the definition.
Okay, y'all. That's it.
Rihanna's song, and so I was like, I know it's in Rihanna's song, but I was like, I can't think what it is.
Folks be knowing. They got your back, Jay.
For sure.
Back in your front. But I think that is a definite you know, that it is a good parallel in the sense that it doesn't it's and I think for somewhere along the lines submissive got equated with controlling, and I think that it's wrapped up in people's notions of that, but just the same way like you were talking about, you know, in those types of relationships, in BDSM relationships, the submissive, there's guidelines, there's rules, there's what you like, right? So it can only go as far as you have predetermined it that you want it to go. So there's guardrails that are built in, you know, in that process. So although it's a, you know, kind of a spicy parallel, it is a very similar one, and that it just doesn't mean total control and the person gets to do whatever they want to do to you and you just lay there and accept it, you know. So
yeah, definitely. But yeah, moving on. Shoot. That's something that they need to figure out for themselves, okay? Because both of them want somebody to be submissive to the other. And like you said, Sean, even if Tori gives her all that energy, sometimes you just don't. You don't want. Maybe she wants to be submissive to somebody, and so maybe she wants to learn how, and she wants somebody that can give it to her. And you know, it's kind of hard to be that to somebody that you can feel like you can run over. So maybe that's why the situation with Tori, we can see it on the outside and say they should be together, but
yeah, I think everybody kind of likes a little of that tension. I think in any good relationship, you have a little bit of yin and yang on one side or the other. And a long lasting one. You know, you will have one person that's probably a little bit more dominant than the other. But you still do have a little plug and play and playfulness in most long standing relationships where, you know, you can get that banter going back and forth.
definitely. All right, but for real, we moving on for real. So the next date that was up was Kenny, his boy Clifton. I'm gonna put it backwards, but the friends are first. Clifton and Joy and Dakia. I had so much for this daggone thing, and y'all gonna think I don't like Dakia, but it's it's not because I don't like it. It's just too much. There's too much that's going on, and it confuses me from one week to the next. So yeah, what are y'all thoughts? And then I'll go into it or whatnot.
Dakia was doing too much. I mean, he's just doing too much. Feeding the vagina food. What is that? Like, I just like, to me, like, you want to come off as ladylike as possible in front of like a guy's friends for the first time or their family. This is what you're doing at the table. It's baffling to me. I don't know if Dakia wants to be Michelle Obama or Jocelyn Hernandez. I literally do not know which one she wants to be from day to day, and it's just like, please figure it out ASAP. I did also notice that Joy seemed a little bit more bothered than I've seen her bothered by Dakia and Clifton. And also Clifton seemed a little bit more like he enjoying these options more than I've seen in the other episodes. So those are kind of all the things that I noticed. But I do think the friend picked up on that the person who was most down to earth and kind of themselves was Joy. I think Dakia is interviewing every time she goes out. She's either interviewing or being nasty. And none of it has any depth to it at all. So I don't know. I don't know what her end goal is, but it's just coming across on Monique King said Michelle Hernandez. Yeah, that's exactly who she is. Because I can't figure out what she wants to be. But it's just coming off as inconsistent and disingenuous.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like with Clifton, Dakia slides right into this sexual innuendo type persona so quickly, and it's obvious. It seems like it's obvious to us, the audience, that he and Joy have much more of just a feel, just an immediate connection. But he and Dakia, like last week of the rubbing on the leg, what was it last week of just the feeling and all of the leg and everything is more sexual innuendo, but and now the shell shaped like a vagina shell and everything. um do you only do that when you're performing in front, or are you performing in front of someone else, like when it's in front of somebody else, like all of this sexual innuendo with Dakia and Clifton? I was like, stop. It was just kind of silly. But I do agree that Joy seemed a little bit more bothered than she usually does. It's like she knows about that her and Clifton have a connection, and that she's already chosen him, in her head. And I feel like that's what Dakia said, that Clifton still has his options open, but Joy's already chosen him. That's what you say, So I just feel like, yeah, Joy was just a little bit more bothered, but she knows where her feelings are. So I just think she just slides right into the sexual innuendo and everything with Clifton. And I don't know. Have you guys talked about anything else? Oh, now I remember, I guess it was a couple weeks ago, he said it was all business. And now we started talking about travel and everything after the second date. But he's still interested in Joy. It's absolutely it's clear to us that he's interested in Joy. So I just don't understand why with him. Well, no, I understand why. Slides right into the sexual innuendo with him and nobody else. So
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm hearing all of that right there. Cause Sean, you want to go before I go, or you want me to go ahead?
No, I'll go because I don't have much to add outside of just it's just an odd setup, and I'm not really sure why she leads with all of that. So I'm listening and thinking back on her, I kind of walk back what I was thinking initially when you compared her to Carmen. And I think they are similar because Carmen will do the same kind of thing, the extra flirty, the extra suggestive. So I can see that. I think just the key is probably a little bit more polished, and not as probably catty as a Carmen is, but still it's the same kind of energy. And I don't know why she does that. And I don't think that, listen, I'm not saying a man should ever put his hands on a woman without consent, but I think you also should not lead yourself or put yourself in a place that's going to get you, um, you know, attention that you may not want. And all of this, talk and banter, you got to learn how to temper it down and taper it down. And again, I'm not blaming her for what he did. He should have never touched her. But at a certain point, it's too much. It's like horn dog moves. She's like, I'm ready. Every comment is just like she's, almost putting herself out there. And I think that she needs to learn this is not the way. There's one thing to be flirtatious and there's one thing to be overtly suggestive, right? I personally, as a man, I like flirting, but the overly suggestive constantly, especially when there's no, it's not even like they're in a relationship and they're just know each other and this is the cheesy things that they do, right? So if that's what you do in the confines of your relationship, go off. But you're not even at that point yet. You're trying to get to a point where you are building a true connection with the person, and all you do is this fluff stuff, this overly flirty, ooh, this is my flower, feeding of the oysters. Are you trying to be the jump off, or are you trying to be taken seriously? And I don't know if it's like her trying to overdo it because Clifton said she's 9 to 5, but you could be a 9 to 5 side chick too. So she going to get the same option if she don't just tone it down and just try to like get to know the person and have less than these, silly kind of like sophomoric comments and trade-offs back and forth. So that's my thought.
Sean, you said it for me. I'm glad you did, because they was about to hate me. They was about to hate me for real, because that's my thing. You need to stand your ground on what you want to be treated as. You present yourself, and I'm not saying you can't flirt and you can't do all this thing, but every single occasion with almost everybody or whatnot. And then it almost makes me feel like if a person's no longer interested on you, you're going to flip it on them. You're going to flip that whole thing on, you know what I'm saying? So like the way she's moving, it's just like, okay. And I don't know how true it is of the incident from last week of when she found out that Eric moved on or whatnot, and how it transpired. But you're right. Don't put your hands on anybody. Because I flirt with you doesn't mean you could touch me. But it also can send the wrong signals out to people. You know what I'm saying? This is not just, I wasn't doing anything and this person touched me. You've been making little things and passive things. And so we don't know, you might have touched him. Last week, you let Clifton rub all on your knee in front of your ex. You're a lady. You can't touch me at all, bro. Like, you can hold my hand, maybe. Present yourself accordingly at all times. And then there's no confusion for anybody. And once again, I'm not saying that it was okay for him to put placements anywhere upon your body at any point, but you allow certain things to happen with certain people. And so that's how it can get confusing to other people to say this is okay. Especially when none of them people are your actual person. It's different if that's my actual person. You don't touch me because you're not mine, but he can touch me all day or whatever, because he's mine. But this is not your actual person. So that's where I start to have this issue with her. And I liked her from the beginning, all this stuff like that. But this back and forth on how you want to be perceived by people, it is coming off disingenuous. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of making me question, who are you really? Have you been putting up a representative? Are we just now seeing it fall down? Because when you get in front of Joy and Clifton and stuff, you are somebody different. That little polished edge that you got is starting to chip away. You're different with Carmen because Carmen is more of a villain than you are. But in this situation with Joy has a real connection with him. So now you're starting to look like Carmen in this situation. Or whatnot. And so it's like, stop. There's nothing there between you. And yes, I see that Joy was pressed, but I give Joy this credit. Because I'm going to be pressed too. If I have an interest in you, I'm not really going to enjoy seeing somebody else fill up on you, especially somebody that's literally my competition, fill up on you and stuff like that, like without my permission. Like, we doing a photo shoot or something? What's happening? What's going on? Like, why are you doing all of this? So like, I'm not going to sit there super excited to see this, but at the same time, I'm still going to hold my composure in it, because you haven't announced to everybody else. You might have said something to me, but you haven't announced to everybody else that I'm your one. So I get where Joy is a bit bothered, but she held good composure, and she didn't take no jabs. She was just like, I hope she see where our connection is, and I hope it's going to be interested to see how he moves in front of me with this other connection. Now she get a little petty next week, but that's a different story. You got to put your foot down. You got to put your stake in the sand and let them know where you are. But next week is a different story. And I felt the actual genuineness between the friend Clifton and her. And Joy. That's what I mean by the her. I felt the genuineness. It was like, let me call you brother. What's up? We joking already? And I really do that. She has what I love the most is when he said, "What do you like about this man?" And what his biggest flaw from his friend is the part that she loves about him. His ability to be 100 all the time himself. She loves that about him. So that means she likes that about the man. She loves him for him. And so I really like that about it. Not these, like you said, Seaway, these rehearsed answers that the kids do. Same thing she said about Paul. Basically the same thing she said about Paul. I like his ability to be, this at one occasion and this on a different occasion. You said the same thing about Paul. What are you talking about right now? You don't have no real depth about what you really like about this man. You do, but there's something there with him and Joy, and I do like it. Hopefully it continues. His track record on this show right now is suspect, but yeah. At least at the end of it, I feel like they will be good friends, like good solid friends at the end, if a true relationship can't come out of it. They seem like 300.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to say, like, her confidence. It looks like she doesn't have confidence and she has to come with the sexual innuendo because Joy is right there. Because I know he and Joy have a good connection and they have an actual connection. So I better come with the sexual innuendo and I better come with like Misha said, it's just very gimmicky. Like, just stop. It comes off insecure. It just looks very insecure. You don't have to do that to prove yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So we moving on, and so we get back to an old familiar face. He's cleaned up, guys. He got a haircut that y'all was complaining about. He coming a little groomed up and stuff. And obviously this was taped a long time ago, because according to them, he was still with Sydney. But Phil is back. Phil is back, and he is Donovan's BF of 12 years. He's the actual godfather of Donovan's children, and he was there to meet Sabrina and showed up Tina. I don't know why, but because I got confused because last week we was on the kids' date and we still got Carmen, and yeah, Donovan got options, bro. You work your room, brother. Do your thing. I see why him and Phil is best friends. Phil had them all last year too. You know what I'm saying? He had about 3 or 4 of them. So I see where this is. I see. Yeah, I see. Phil getting the good looks, huh? Okay, Gracie, back in your good graces, Grace. So how you feel about this date here with these people? I'll let you go first, Crystal.
Sorry, I had to check on, make sure Penny was like, her and Abby, they start acting up. But I like seeing Phil again. I like seeing, like Misha said, is it a hairline? He went to what's his name's barber? He looked good, and he's very observant. He was very I felt like he was observant. Sabrina, she came with it, and we saw Tina. She another one just checked out. She was not. I guess we're gonna be finding out in this next coming week. I like Jay. I don't like to speculate. I like to find out more information before I just say, just hear stuff in social media. So, but she's just totally. She's like, okay, I'm done with the more than one, love interest. I'm like, that's the name of the show you're on. At least be a little bit more presentable. At least, try. She just didn't even want to be there. She just didn't want to be there. And you could tell on her face, everything, the color contacts wasn't hiding nothing. She didn't want to be there. Sabrina was asking questions. Sabrina wants kids, and Donovan's already got 2 kids. So I just felt like Phil said, Tina She just seemed like she wasn't giving anything for Phil to really decipher as far as a friend. What kind of advice I can give you. But Sabrina could actually give more advice. So they got that connection, but it didn't seem like either of them. This was my first time saying I'm not even sure if Sabrina's right for Donovan. I was like, last time Sabrina was, Miss Independent was like, oh gosh, I hope I'm glad that he don't take me home because I would have to give him some. Even this time, she was like, okay, okay, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Coach.
Yeah, I'll let Sean go last this time. I was kind of thrown off by Sabrina in this. Tina's been a little off from almost day one. So,
This whole time, right. But
she
Sabrina,
but I give her a pass because, like she said, it was a rough week. So whatever happened in that week, it just wasn't her week for her. And she said Donovan kind of gave her the understanding pass, like, you just need some time. So whatever was going on in her real life, I don't know, but it wasn't good because it was all over her face and she was not happy to be anywhere in the presence of anybody else. Sabrina is puzzling because, like I say, when it's not about her, you see a different energy. And she came in kind of like, why is Tina here? Oh, I see their connection is deeper than I thought or whatnot. And it's just like, why would you give it any thought if you're focused on him the way you say you was enough to give him the draws the last time you seen him or whatnot? You bumped him up there. You was all googly eyes on your date with your ex and all this stuff. And so all of a sudden now you're bothered that he has a whole nother date here. I just didn't get it. It's like, so it's these little things. I'm trying to be team Sabrina with you, Sean, but I don't like girls. I don't like her like that. So like I can't do it. Like I can't, but it's just like, it's just little things that I keep picking up and I keep seeing. And it's just like, if it's not the focus on Sabrina has an issue with it. Now she was very engaging in this. She did take control of a lot of the conversation, but I know it bothered her when Donovan checked on Tina to say why you're not eating. Because if Tori checked on Ace and you ain't even checked into Tori, that must have bothered you. So that lead me to believe, as soon as Phil said what he said, like, oh, I've been through this man's highs and I've been through his lows. And then you go off to say, well, he's recently out of a situation. Girl, you less time than him in a situation, to be honest. You were less time than him out of your situation. And you're sitting here judging him for his, and you just was happy last time you guys had your date that he understood your situation because you guys were both newly out of divorces. And now all of a sudden you don't know if he knows what he wants. Sis, I think he might know a little bit more in less time of what he wants than you have been here the whole time. And you're jumping from ship to ship to ship to man or whatever and stuff like that. Like, make it make sense somewhere, because all of a sudden you're checked off of him. And your date with Demetrius didn't go that well for you to just be like, I'm putting all my eggs in Demetrius' basket. It'd be different if we seen that date go a lot better than that. Now, maybe in the back, Donovan's not hitting you up the way you want him to hit you up. He's not conversating the way you want him to conversate. Maybe there's other things factoring into this newfound discovery of why you don't feel him anymore. But that just didn't make no daggone sense to me at all. That Phil say, I just seen this man at his highs and his lows, and I see this, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, red flag. Something's wrong with him. So I just look at it. You're setting yourself up to sit here and give us a Sabrina 1.0 situation. Well, I choose myself at the end because none of y'all, no, you're being a whole red flag yourself because you're calling the pot kettle all the same colors as you. Child, look, you don't know what you want. You've been here weeks before this man got here, and you bounced off from Tori to Demetrius to Donovan to Demetrius to Donovan to Demetrius to yourself. Make it make sense. And then your judgment is he's fresh out of a relationship. You both are. Have fun. Have fun. I don't know. And Tina, yeah, baby, I don't know. I guess that's gonna be another self-elimination coming up at this point because she can't date multiple people. Why are we here? Does nobody watch this show? Does nobody watch it? I'm trying. Sean, what you got?
Yeah, no, I happen to agree with you when it comes to like I didn't understand how she deduced that what Phil said and the fact that he's seen him at his best and seen him at his worst meant that he's not stable, right? You know, I think that just unless we missed something, that just didn't make any sense. That to me wouldn't be the necessary place that I jump to if somebody says that. Now, on the other hand, Smooth Phil, he didn't also do such a great job at characterizing Donovan again in the clip that I saw because he said he's an a-hole. Like, don't like, bro, like, come on. That's you know better than that. Like, come on. Like, don't say that.
That was a friendly joke, but yeah, I get where you're going.
Still, it doesn't make sense. Like you don't for if somebody and we talk about this on Married at First Sight, right? The person doesn't really know this person, and they're leaning into you as a close friend to help get some inside character into that person. They're dating multiple people. You a-hole shouldn't be your go-to, right?
Did you see the whole thing? How he got to the a-hole part, or you just seen that little?
Yeah, no, I saw the whole thing, and then he tried to clean it up. And then he tried to say, well, oh, he's stubborn and this, all of that, it sends somebody down a path that they don't need to go to. There's so many better ways you could explain that. You know, he is a very, you know, whatever. He's headstrong, or you know, if he is determined to do something, he's gonna get it done, right? Like I think there's better ways to frame it because you set the person up to think like this is their best friend. If I meet a woman's best friend and she tells me, oh, she's the B word, I'm gonna be listening. I don't care how you try to dress it up and joke it around. I'm gonna be thinking, yeah, there's probably a little truth in that joke. Just like he said it, tried to clean it up, there's still some truth to it. So there's better ways to explain it. And you know, I have banter with my best friend. We call each other names. If I wouldn't do that to somebody that he's meeting for the first time. And I get it. I don't think he was setting him up. I just don't think he didn't do a great job at articulating the point. And I think he could have just did it better than just being so silly and playful, especially somebody who is super familiar with the process, right? You know, when his ex met you know, his friends, she didn't, you know, even when she talked about some of his faults, she didn't go in and call him a name or like go to that place. She just said, you know what, you know, sometimes we did have challenges with communication, right? That leaves some room open to dig deeper to see if the person has done work. You call somebody an a-hole, a-hole is usually an a-hole for life. You're a-hole, you don't change and wake up tomorrow and you're not an a-hole. You get what I mean? So I just didn't like that. But again, I think this is when I started to see Sabrina unravel a little bit, even when she was like, oh, you know, Tina is here. This relationship is a little bit deeper than I thought. Well, you just said he leapfrogged ahead of other people. So you were dating other people too, Sabrina, right? So what do you expect Donovan to not have any options? So yeah, do you need to know if he's dating somebody else? Sure. But if you are genuinely trying to make a connection with him and you like him, you know you're in a dating show. What's the big deal? So yeah, I sometimes I don't know how serious she is. Sometimes I think like she's probably one of those people that it has to be just the way it fits for her, and she's not really open to allow people to be who they truly are. Because if you really know and are entering into a love dynamic with somebody, nobody's going to show up perfect, and they shouldn't, because if they show up perfect, then there's probably a red flag because they're faking. You know what I mean? So everybody comes with something. It's just a matter of if that's something that they come with is something you can tolerate, and vice versa. Your something, is it something they can tolerate? So I don't think she's at that point. And I think she's very much in her head about the process. So I was able to see some kinks in her process and how she operates.
Yeah, great point, Sean. I definitely see you where you coming from on that. Like I got friends that joke like that, you know what I'm saying? But you would know my friend circle or whatever to know. And some of them might not peep out the type of person they talk to. Some people are analytical. So you take that bit of information, oh, he a A-hole, oh, she's a B. They take that information and it's literal to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more so, no, this is how we joan on each other. This is how we joke with each other. This is just how we talk, you know, and it's not for real. So I see where you're coming from on that as well.
And I was saying earlier, she's giving me Kyra 2022. She's giving me just a little bit, but just she is just really excited about having all these options, and she wants it the way she wants it. And
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I know she's more fresh out than he is, because that excitement is, look at me, I can get attention again.
Yes.
Even if it's to the point of, let me prove to my ex on national TV, I still got it. I don't know what the ex might have been like, you ain't gonna never get nobody else. Like, well, sometimes you be in relationships and they bring down your confidence.
Exactly.
So you jumping out there like, let me see what I can do or whatever. And so some of the energy, that's what it's just like, I would like to know what her marriage was like, and maybe that other relationship after that was like, how it either built her up or brought her down. To see. Yeah, to definitely see where she's going.
Yeah, that's a good point, Jay. And I think like she owes us, since she's doing all this digging and fact finding, she owes us an explanation in terms of just simply, well, what happened? Why did your marriage end, and what did you learn? Because that's my favorite question to ask. Because don't tell me what he did, because that's the foolishness that I'm seeing with Tina. Is he did and he was toxic, and now here again, Tina's showing up a little toxic her own self. Can't explain why she's in a bad mood. She got an attitude. It's like, come on, ma'am. You're in a dating show, and part of the process. What was it? Did you have some childcare issues? Is your 2-year-old tearing up? 2-year-old's gonna do that. Be ready, because that's what's part of the process. It doesn't mean you can't take a step back, but at least come have a nice attitude. Because for me, I'm looking at that like, I want to know not just when everything is good and you feel so good about yourself, but how do you act on your bad day? How do you deal with stress and issues and conflict? Because if you can't handle that with a little bit of grace, then to me, that's showing up that you might just turn up and throw a couple tantrums. Adult tantrums are worse than 2-year-old tantrums, because I can understand a 2-year-old tantrum because they're two, they don't know how to communicate. Certain things are frustrating, but you grown, you need to know how not to be throwing tantrums and how to just come in a little bit more measured. So that part was a little bit of a red flag for me when it came to her. And her being Tina when it came to that. So.
Sorry, my computer is highlighting all kind of other things. I'm trying to put the mute off. All kind of screens started popping up. I'm like, wait. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. We gotta do better as adults. We can communicate, so we got to use our words, use your vowels. As Martin said it back in the day, like, come on now, we too grown not to just speak to each other and tell each other how we really feel, and understand that the other person can't punish you. This is your feelings. Go ahead and tell them. They can be mad, they can this, but try to talk through it, try to get an understanding from both sides or whatever, and just have that conversation. It's just that simple. A lot of things could be solved. We probably wouldn't be at what we at right now in the world if they just communicate properly, instead of everybody, I just want my way. I just need my way, but that's a whole nother story for another day. Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to block my camera. I was watching these videos on how to make the proper videos on stuff. So when I transition, that's going to be a transition. No. Oh man. You know what? We've been asking their vetting process. Okay, Bambi. Their vetting process, they say they go through kind of like these questionnaires, but some people are good at passing those type of things. Some people can give you like really sane answers in a bunch of questionnaires. And I know that they get it to where it's kind of like the process. I think it's aerospace or astronauts, they get those things where they ask you a bunch of almost the same questions and see if how much you change up your answers or things like that. And once you know what you're taking, you can pass that with a breeze. I can make myself sound sane all day, when you're really skilled at it. So I don't know if that's what they do, to be honest, because I ain't in their room vetting these people out. So I don't know. I think they more so go for people that talk. I think they like people that know how to talk because they need that on the camera. They want personalities or whatnot. So when they get it, these people know how to come off. Sometimes it plays out to they pick the wrong person, Demetrius. And then sometimes you get the right people that just are good at just constantly talking and stuff. So I don't know what their vetting process is, but I think, I don't know. Go ahead, Sean. You was about to say something.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, listen, to me, it seems like it's a microcosm of the real dating world, right? Because so many people we hear, especially the ladies, they'll be like the dating pool is full of piss, right? So look, we seeing it on TV. So I think, yeah, do we see some extremes pop through? Yes, of course. And anytime you put people on television and give them a platform, you're gonna get some very egocentric type A personality folks that even kind of rise to the top. And then it's also for entertainment. But shoot, I do think we can, because just the same way we can dissect these episodes and pick out the personalities and sometimes see the red flags, is because we've all interacted with people that show up the same way that some of these people show up. The frustrating part is I think we kind of want more. We see it on TV and we're like, we want it to be more. We want it to be better. We want that fairy tale ending. But look, what's the marriage rates looking like? What's the marriage rates looking like right now? Right? What's the divorce rates looking like? We can match those up against Married at First Sight. We can match the dating up against Ready to Love. It's hard out here. And the worst is when you got people that think they know what they're doing and they think they got it all figured out, and them be the worst ones. And I think that's what we see on Ready to Love, in my opinion.
I agree. I feel like that's one of the reasons why we review the show, is because it is a study in interpersonal communication skills and the real life situations and dating and everything. But we want, especially because we're the audience, we want it to be better. We see the cracks, so we want somebody to speak up. We want it to be better. But the vetting process, both shows have said it's 400 questions, and it's it's going to be him and his dog, Laverne, his dog. So it was 400 questions, and it's a psych eval, and certain people did a psych eval and some didn't. So but you can fake that if you're really good. We see the people that have gotten through it.
And then on top of it, they're a TV show, so they gonna want some people for drama, just for drama,
and they want the drama.
Yeah,
even if you're a good person, you don't know what's being cut, chopped, and put together.
Mm-hmm. I mean, not just being a good person. They're gonna pick some people that they just know is gonna bring some messiness. Like, I'm not saying that they're actors and they're paid to do this, but they just know their personality is just going to bring a mess put in a group with these other people's personality. And they're going to hope for, like they say, sometimes they get you all liquored up. Some shows get you all liquored up. Some shows could find you guys all into a room and just hope some stuff fall out. So whatever the process may be, they just going to hope that at the end of it all, they can make something that they can profit off of. As far as we know that the world likes drama. We like the ratchetness. As much as we try to stay away from it, we like it. And we're going to watch it. And we're going to be here for it. And so they got to give us what we want. These people generally, season 1 was generally looking for love. Season 2, they were still looking for love. Now we up in 5, 6, 7, 8. Shoot, we looking to shine. We looking to do something else. And so you're going to get some that want love and some that just want to be seen. Or should I say, want to be loved by the public. So it is what it is. Dang, here goes this on my screen again. Do we need to really talk about P.O. and Kia's private date? Do y'all want to even discuss that, really? Because like we said earlier, it was kind of weird that they just hadn't had any real conversation until then.
Not really. I honestly, he had a corny joke. He had a dad joke. And like I agree with what you said earlier, that these were the conversations that they should have been having weeks ago. And the fact that they hadn't, that says something. So to me, it was kind of a moot point. Who else had a date?
But that was this Tori and Ace day,
Oh, and then yeah, that's
when
it.
she came in, she gave him a gentle friend zone,
Right.
a nice friendly friend zone. I
Poor Tori. Can this guy catch a break?
No.
not on this show.
Jeez Louise.
Not on this show.
Excuse me.
And Tommy scolded him and was like, "And you didn't tell me. Next time, can you? Somebody let me know."
We were talking about that earlier. I was like,
Tori,
you didn't know.
He was like, "Look, bro, it wasn't me."
I was
Is
supposed
this
to call
the
you.
first time I'm hearing about this? This is the first time I'm hearing about this.
Nobody in production called you. They seen the whole thing.
They was filming. Somebody had to be. It was on camera. Somebody had to be there.
The sound guy should have called you at least, because I know he heard it.
Right. That was very suspicious to me. I was like,
Tommy was too busy at the rhinestone factory trying to get his outfit ready for the reunion.
Seriously though, poor Tori. Like, he just can't catch a break. It is. I don't know. Sometimes your person is just not there. Like I used to tell people, shoot, mine's died at birth. I don't know where, but it takes a while, and maybe this will help him. It's to me, I don't know how this process is going to work, because now you're a public figure and all these people are going to throw themselves at you. But we have seen people come from the show and actually find some love from it or whatnot. So hopefully he can find his actual one from it. And from what I got from one of his things, he had, I don't know if they're still talking, but somebody that was prior to the show, he had kind of went back to talking to them or whatnot, because I think they had a little miscommunication before he got accepted to the show. And so they kind of started talking again. So maybe they're fully talking. I don't know. This is speculation because I just heard it on the live. So don't run with this, people, and say Tori got a whole woman. Don't block his blessings. I don't know. Let him confirm this. Y'all can go ask him, but y'all let him confirm it or whatever. So, but still, yeah.
I want to, I want to go to what Danny M just said, but one, I have to say, I do appreciate what Ace said, that I see the way you look at Sabrina, and I know that I'm not feeling that for you. So I want to be honest and just bow out of our connection. At the same time, I feel like she should have called him or text him or say something that I'm not going to be able to make it or something. But we said this at the top of the show, him calling, sitting next to Sabrina and calling, that was a no-no. But I do appreciate her saying, listen, I'm not feeling it for you. And I just think Laverne, she said Laverne was my only connection here now that he's gone. And I did think I was like, the fact that she didn't show up, I said, does this have to do with Laverne? Did Laverne just call you? I don't know. But I do appreciate that she said, hey, he was my connection. He's no longer here. And you and I really don't have that love connection. So I'm going to bow out. But then at the deliberation, him saying, I haven't had a chance to talk to Carmen and I want to get to know Carmen a little more. I'm like, stop, Tori, just stop. Stop. Carmen's definitely not it. So your person's just not here. And you just need to just bow out. And I think it was Seaway before she left. She's like, what's with these people just not self-eliminating? Like mentally, I said this several times, Tori, you self-eliminated weeks ago. So just now, just go.
But we also heard from past casts that some people, like when they try to, they're asked to stay. Sabrina said it herself. A couple of other people have said it. I've even heard Aisha mention it before, that they are asked to stay. And Tori has like this demeanor, like he's not going to put his foot down and just say, I'm sick of this. So
I will give you that.
think
Because I
he's
remember Sabrina saying that.
Mhm.
He did that. She tried to self-eliminate, and she tried to eliminate, and they kept convincing her to stay. So that could be. But with Takia, I was like, last week I said she's not going to self-eliminate. I said she just doesn't have that personality to say I'm going to go. I'm just going to.
It's a pride thing at that
my
point.
exit.
It's a pride thing at that point. You know what I'm saying? It's like
not one.
you're gonna stay in this process for what?
For what? For what?
Like Seaway always say, there's no prize at the end. You get no compensation, no extra nothing or whatever. So you're staying in it for what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if you're making more money than in real life than on this, I'll be quick. I'll be like, bruh, I got bills. Y'all not paying my bills if you bye. You know, but my patience is wired differently. So I don't know. But yeah, so we got to the men's lounge, and you know what? There was a lot of popping up. It was a lot of say it with your chest, and there was a lot of people speaking up. And this was, like Tommy said, the most active men's lounge ever. This is the most time I've heard people really fight for some people that they wanted to fight for. You know, what y'all thought about that? Because we had Donovan standing up for Carmen, P.O. standing up for Dakia. Like you said, Tori trying to find some room for Carmen. P.O. also, okay, this one had me on the loop. P.O. talking about him and Sabrina need a reset. What the hell was that? Like, what? A reset? Are you done or you need a reset? Reset means we gonna start over. Y'all help me figure that one out.
They were all just, oh no, this person needs to stay, this person needs to stay. And I feel like because because Ace self-eliminated, he didn't have to get rid of anybody. He said, so you guys are all speaking up, so there won't be any elimination this week. So he knew that he didn't have to eliminate this week. But I just was like, P.O., you know that Sabrina definitely don't want to talk to you. It was real weird. Tori saying something about Carmen, Donovan speaking up for Carmen.
Donovan had a connection with Carmen, though. We've seen that.
They did have one date, but there was no. I would think Sabrina and Donovan more than Donovan and Carmen, but they just didn't want to get rid of anybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they probably had it in their head that they were going to get rid of Ace already prior, because you know she only had Tori really as a backup connection, so maybe that they had it, and then when she's gone, they like, oh shoot, they scrambling. And
yeah, that I agree with.
As soon as somebody threw a name out there, they're like, no, not mine.
Yeah, now that I see. They probably were already trying to get rid of Ace because you know why she's still there, and she left, so you know. They wanted to speak up for everybody else. That makes sense.
And then Tommy piped up on Donovan. It was like, oh no, but Carmen's at the bottom. I was like, where'd that come from? Tommy was pissed. He was like, y'all didn't tell me about Ace. And I was just about to and we was just about to choose her to go off, and y'all didn't tell me that she self-eliminated. So I was just like, oh, it's bring down the strength. Everybody in the room. Everybody, please.
Bring down the strength in the room. What did you think, Sean, of the deliberation? Sean's all quiet over there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Donovan is a little wishy-washy to me. And that, you know, I think you just need to be I think, you know, as a man, you need to be a little more straightforward. And it's one thing to want to explore your options. And I know he came in a little bit later in the process, but I think like ultimately the part where I really feel strongly is either you want kids or you don't, right? And from the way he led with his answer, he doesn't want more kids. So just say that, you know, because it has to be something that you really want. You know what I mean? Because you're going to be the one working together with the mom, with those kids. And nobody needs another set of kids that are fatherless running around here. So, and I'm not saying he would do that. I'm just saying, come on, bro, do you want the kids or not? And he said like, hey, listen, I like Carmen because, you know, she's done with the kids, but Sabrina, she wants more kids. well, then there's your answer, bro. Don't waste any more time. You really don't want kids. So let that be the thing that you let Sabrina go off into the sunset and do what Sabrina does, right? But you move on, because that's wasting. That to me is a definition of wasting somebody's time. Because you know in your heart of hearts, do you want them? The answer is no. But I'd be willing if the one, no, that's, you don't want them. So that's what I thought about that. I thought the whole deliberation, they ran them through the paces. I don't think the guys knew ahead of time, because the way Clifton was fighting for whoever the hell he was fighting for, which didn't make sense, they seemed a little hot about who they wanted to stay. I think Tommy knew and production knew, because there was too much self-elimination, because they're like, hey, we ain't gonna have nobody to go to this resort. We ain't gonna have nobody to take to the resort.
Pay for all these roles.
You know, but I do love the fact that and we'll get to this, I'm sure, but you know, in the teaser, all Dakia's antics, we see where that went. You know what I mean? We see where that went. Nowhere, because who had their little pink bag or whatever bag right on that bed? Joy was like, you can talk all that talk, but behind the scenes, I'm running this show. But, you know, I think the deliberation, it's like people, they just were all piping up and just bumping their gums, because ultimately, I don't think anybody's really settled on anybody except for Clifton and Joy. That's where I see the clear choices. Obviously, Ace is gone, and I didn't even know the connection with Laverne was that strong where she would be willing to leave. So that snuck up on me. So I don't see any other real true connections. So it'll be very interesting to see how things play out in the resort when folks, you know, all land there.
And no, Sean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the men knew that Ace was going to leave. I think that they had in their mind that she was going to be the next choice. So all of their potentials.
Oh, no, I didn't say you. There was some people in the chat.
Oh, okay. No, but I thought I might have said it in a way that didn't get what I was saying.
No. And that's all I was saying. I think production knew, because they knew what they were dealing with, but I don't think the fellas knew. That's all. But there was
I just got a text and somebody said, you had no clue what you said, Sean, when you talked about Donovan.
Who? Which part?
Which part? I'm not really sure. You just have no clue when you're talking about Donovan.
I think you said Donovan's wishy-washy or something like that, but I was about to say, I agree with you. To me, if
you
a
can
man
tell he who shall not be named, I'm going based on what I see.
If a man
might be wrong, prove me wrong then.
But he said, I already have 2 kids. And then he's like, well, if the woman I get with, you know, I'm not sure about having any more kids, but if the woman I get with, she wants kids, then I could see maybe, you know, providing that for her or something like that. I said, don't do that. You don't want kids, and don't kids are not something to be wishy-washy off of.
It's a cape. I'm about to put my cape on. Hold up, let me strap up, okay? Because the wording was she wants a family, and she gave how many kids that she wanted. He has 2 already. Maybe he's like, I feel like it's more like I'll give my wife one kid, but I ain't about to do 2, 3, 4 more or whatever, right, stuff like that. So that's where I thought that was coming from. And as far as you have made me think of something else, what you said, Sean, about the wishy-washy. Phil did also tell him that you need to lock it in, and he said, yeah, my boy just told me I need to be a little bit more selfish or whatever, and choose up. So maybe that's why the fight for Carmen was a little bit more strong in that area, because Sabrina is kind of already checking off. Tina, done. Dakia is So I only see like one and a possible at this. Like Sabrina is a possible, and Carmen is still more of his better connection. And y'all can fight me on it, but I said it on Sabrina's live last time. That body language that him and Carmen had on their date mirrored each other. When you start getting that in sync with the person, there's a connection there or whatnot. He doesn't have that. He was like this with Sabrina through this whole date. That's totally different from how Sabrina was with him. Sabrina was all in his face, all of this stuff like that. Yeah. Sabrina's sitting right next to you and you have your hand like this on the side that she's on. That's kind of odd. Like you're putting a wall.
Because
body
I thought they were
language
kind of
is
cuddled up, but you're right. Sabrina was nestled up in him, but he was like this, but she was kind of nestled up under him. But
Mhm.
that doesn't say that he was nestled up under her.
Yeah. So it's these little things. Like sometimes when you're in tune, that body language is a lot. And so if you guys go back and watch that date with Carmen, they started mirroring each other on their body languages as they moved or whatnot. And a lot of time that means you're in tune. Now, I'm not saying that it's a total romantic connection or anything like that, but that means there's more of an energy following there than there is in other places and stuff. So I just started watching these people body thing.
So
I
this is what
still
Danny
think
says. Did he invite her to meet a friend and we just didn't see it?
But we also know production plays a part in some of these things, because it's just like, why was the Kia at PO's thing? Because she
But
didn't
I'm
have to
just
show up.
curious if did he think enough to want to have Carmen there, you know?
There's a possible chance in that. We know that last season that they were saying certain people, and they weren't going on the dates with the people that they were picking.
I'm gonna give you that one, Jay, because I thought with Sabrina and Tori, I was like, did Tori ask for one more go around, or did the production force him to, invite Sabrina? Because there's no more connection there. So why are they putting Tori and Sabrina back together when they know that this is done? So I did think that maybe that was production setting that date up with Tori and Sabrina. But I also still don't see the Carmen and Donovan connection. I just don't see it. I mean, I see it on paper. Them both. She has a 16-year-old. He has 2 kids, and they're around the same age. But as far as like a connection, I just don't see that. So.
And there was some connections that was made last year. We didn't see either. We
That's
didn't
very
see,
true.
we didn't see Phyllis and Cindy.
That's
We
very
didn't see Aisha and Dante, and that's a bad reference right now. But but we didn't see it. It's I give them this. They're a lot better than last season. We see a lot more this season than we did last season. So there's some things there, and there's other things that is not, because remember, we didn't see how Clifton and Carmen came out of the blue when he started picking Carmen, and then they flashed back to a date that they had. They didn't air the date or whatnot. There's a part where he was like, he picking Carmen, and we all looking like, what? And then they flash to a date and stuff. So they're possibly going out on more dates than we know about, and they're not showing it. I have no clue, but I'm just going off of what I've seen in some of these body language. Donovan doesn't even want no more, not even one. Probably not, because I think he got a bit of older kids. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes wanting to start all over again. You like, I'm 40. What? I don't know.
And you're right. I think he said he has like a 16-year-old and like a 10-year-old or something like that. Like he's got.
We got some
one is a teenager. I don't remember the second one, but yeah.
But then also, I don't want to wait. I factor these things because this was my process on having more children. I look at my age, look at getting into a relationship with somebody, how much time it might take for that relationship to develop to a point where we say, okay, now we want to have a family and all this stuff like that. Do I want to be way up in this age, this age range, trying to do all of this? I don't, so all of this, I don't know what's playing in his head, but all of that could be playing in his head, and all these people that want to have babies and all this stuff. It's like, what age are we? You're 30 something, so you got time. I'm such and such age. Do I want all of this?
Right. Cause he's 42, right? And she's 36
or something like that. So
he is 31.
Yeah. So there's a lot of difference. And then even with
31, I don't care what you're saying.
I'm trying to give it a benefit, even though her math was all off last week. That was terrible math.
Yeah. With that boyfriend coming on from high school or wherever he was from, whatever year she resurrected him.
Not that you giving me the Caribbean.
You sucking his teeth at. You sucking his teeth at 31.
31. No 31-year-olds wear no blue contacts for
Johnson.
sure. That's late 30s, early 40 vibes.
Yeah,
No, nobody 31 wear no blue contacts. That's a tell. That is a straight tell. Since you want to be 31, take off blue color contacts. The 31-year-olds are traveling to Africa and getting their irises done blue, like Tiny and her daughter. That's what they do. Okay.
We might not have that money like that. That's an African.
They find a way. They get a ninja to do it.
Real quick. You know, that Birkin you was gonna give me. I want my eyes.
That's it.
Not a ninja.
And he goes back on mute. Not he throw a dagger and then go back. Oh my goodness. Okay, so yes, nobody's eliminated because A self-eliminated herself. Next week, yeah, we get into the thing because this is the part of the show that we all do like, because now they're confined in one house and stuff, and you know, our messy sides love the mess, and so when they all in one house, we get a Joel.
That's too soft, Jay. It's Joel.
Woo, when the mess hits the fan, baby, when them bags be placed on the bed to let you know what room I'm staying on. This is summer camp all over. I'm triggered. I wanted that bunk bed.
Whose bag is that? Whose bag is that?
Right.
Oh, please.
Hold on.
Not yours. You see that meme on Spiritual World? Not the meme, but it was a clip, a post of Kevin Samuels, and he kept saying, "Yo mama." So whose bag is that? Yo mama. That's a clip I should have said to her. Joy would have been like, "Yo mama's bag," and what? Oh man, poor Dakia. She can't catch a break.
Child, she said her feelings was hurt. I said, what?
Don't let your feelings be hurt.
Your feelings hurt. Don't act like you didn't know this was this. You don't act like you've been here since day one, so you've been seeing it. Don't act like you didn't know what it was.
Girl, stop letting him feeling on your leg, and your feelings won't be hurt.
Child, Carmen's face in that moment, though. I don't know if that was a cutaway to it or not. That was from some other place, but that face was like.
No, it was perfect, because you know that would be her exact reaction, with a laugh afterwards, like, not yours.
Not yours.
How them people be doing them jokes that laugh?
Your feelings would not have been hurt. You stop letting him feel on your leg and sip out of that mug and all kinds of other stuff that you've been doing. Just.
But I don't know why your feelings are hurt. What your feelings are hurt for?
That's what I'm saying.
You wasn't gonna jump into the bed with him, or were you?
Why?
Or were you?
Well, listen, jump on in.
Hey, it might be a big enough bed. I don't know.
Exactly, jump in. Put your bag on the bed too.
All I'm gonna ask is production capture it all. I'm gonna need those behind the scenes. I just need to review some footages. All right, I'm gonna stop playing with y'all. I might be serious. But no, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I probably would be as seriously petty as to do the same thing. Oh, you in this room? Okay, this is my room too. This is where we at.
Oh, this where we at? Okay, thank you. Thanks, babe.
Running through the house. Where my boo room at? Where our room at? Shauna be like, oh, now she trying to ruin it all. They might be a nice little throuple. I don't know. Yeah. You know, some people are too much of a lady to get down. I don't know.
She said Clifton ain't staying in that room for long. That's too funny.
I don't know. He might. Who knows? You know, Joy be thinking, okay? She be out here thinking.
He want to see what that tongue ring do. Show me what that tongue ring do.
I'm just saying, Joy be thinking. Joy kind of racks on racks. I don't know.
Exactly, you know.
No, let's make it do what it do.
Joy look like, listen, I ain't one for all that talking, but I'll show you. I can show you better than I could tell you.
Man, you know, and she easy on the eyes. I ain't gonna, you know. I'm just saying, and she been waiting for that kiss. So maybe a little, you know, let's see how we spoon together. You know, sometimes I just need to know if I fit in your arms right.
She just want to cuddle. Oh no, Joy has seen if she fit in his arms right.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I just need to know if I fit in your arms right. You know, maybe because sometimes it don't work. If my energy not feeling how you hold me, I need to know, or what kind of sleeper you are. Do you roll all the way to one side? Do you snatch all the covers? I need to know all of these things. So what better way than a little getaway to find out if we can stay in the same room together and not do anything? Allegedly.
She told Popo, I was dying to kiss that man. She's been wanting to make sure and get the cuddle in. She's been wanting to do more. That's okay. That's good.
High vibes. Vroom, vroom.
I don't blame her.
How she hit it. Bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
That's a good question, Mimi. How big is the bed? Because, you know, Clifton looked like he might be having the feet off the edge.
I was like, is that a day bed? I said, I don't think that's a full shot of the bed. I said, I'm gonna have to wait till next week because that looked like a tiny, tiny bed. But right. I said, that must be the side. That's the day bed in the room.
And for all you PG people out there, maybe there wasn't enough beds through the house. Because sometimes the Airbnbs you be getting, you know, you have so many beds and it's not enough space. And I'm not sleeping on the couch. I'm not sleeping on the couch. He could scoot over. I'm just saying, he could sleep on top of the cover. I could sleep on the bottom of him, you know. I don't really like that. So, but I like to sleep in a nude. So you're just going to have to deal with me. That's a whole nother story. No. But yeah, Sean like, no.
Yeah, wrong road. Come on. Let this live not be another live to get you in trouble. All right. Just Hirsch.
Sean said, let it in.
Please, that last live. I needed a fire extinguisher for that last one.
That live wasn't even that bad. Maybe. Y'all go watch it. Y'all let me know if it was that bad. I'm just saying.
Yeah, y'all go watch and report back, please.
Yeah, let me know down in the comments.
Jay needs some guardrails. I decide to run around and get some things done, and I turn it on. I'm like, oh hell no. We need a referee on that live.
Not the one we just got out of, right?
And inspiration. Let me tell those that don't know about it. In inspiration of the show, I decided to bring an ex up on and let former cast members that didn't get a chance to meet the exes question my ex or whatever, you know. And somebody just brought up the fact that my next did not know that my ex was going to be on the show, so they think I'm gonna get in trouble. If y'all don't see me next week, y'all know what happened. No, I'll be here next week.
Mine too, Future. I was like, Lord Jesus, come on now.
I didn't see from the very beginning, so I only when I first came in was later, so I gotta watch it from the beginning.
Go watch it.
Rewatch gang.
Yeah, yes. Go on back and good Lord. But yeah, back to what you were saying. Yeah, wrong road. Yes, Monique, you were about to go on timeout. I was gonna have to block you, and I think you might even be a moderator. But I was about to block Monique. But yeah, no, Jay, nice try for your cape about the Airbnb situations, but they always do enough bedrooms for Ready to Love for everyone to have their own bed. So
besides that, yeah, that's Kate, because the women could be sharing a room. All of the ladies could be sharing.
Share no room with you heifers. When it's a grown, fine, sexy man in the other room. The heck?
All them people they had self-eliminating, there was no lack of rooms. Trust me.
Right.
They probably had spare rooms.
They're only gonna lose one, and then
Liz
they go
was
the other one.
there.
Joy
room.
went into Liz's room with, or not Liz, what's her name? Now I'm mentioning Liz. Ace. Because they must have booked this weeks in advance. So yeah, that's so funny though. I just love seeing those two bags on that bed.
Yeah,
Oh, this
that
gonna be
was
good.
that was.
But her response was so hilarious. My feelings are hurt.
Yeah,
What?
why?
What's feelings got to do?
I'm hoping that was a
Yeah, let
comeback from
him-
something
let-
else.
I
I
let
hope
him
it's
rub
really-
on my leg,
like
and now
seriously,
he don't want to share a room with me. I let him rub on my leg.
you let him do a whole
Okay,
lot. I let him
girl.
feed me an oyster and all this stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's on you. That's on
bro,
you.
get over it. Is that? Mm-mm.
I'm just saying. I that everybody's seen that situation. Everybody know what that situation is. You the only one who want to keep playing the side chick role, talking about I can take him from her and all this stuff like that. That I mean, and I'm not calling her a side chick, but that's the role she's in right now. Is that's what you're playing? Is like you're gonna come in on the wife and you're gonna take this person from her. And like most side chicks, very few have that happen. And that only reason that happened is because he's already checked out of that situation. But you're just gonna get done up and he's gonna go back home. So I don't your feelings is gonna be hurt on your own accord. You signed up for it, you knew what it was, you knew where he was, and you want to keep playing that game of just trying to feel like you can take him away. Like, you know, the attraction. I know you there, you might feel something that he has something with you, but you know that something is definitely stronger over there. We all see it, so I know you definitely felt it. Like we could see it, but I know you felt it, especially on that date together with him. Because even when you was feeding him, his energy was a lot different from the solo. It wasn't like, I feel like on a solo date, Clifton would have been like doing all of this antics and stuff like that. But on that, he was kind of like don't feed me too much, but I don't want to be rude right now, but don't feed me, you know. So I don't know, like you're setting yourself up for failure, sis. But yeah, so that was it for the show. Yeah, so next week we'll be back with it. For those that came from over here from Kojo's channel, I appreciate you guys for coming. We will be back on Sean. Are we doing your channel next week? No? Okay, so we'll be back here. Okay, so we'll be back here again next week. Kojo is going to be on vacation. So if he hasn't announced it, he's doing his much needed vacation. Trust and believe he has earned it. That man puts out content for you, and we know on vacation he's still gonna put out content for you. He don't stop. Okay, he is the hardest working man on YouTube at this point right now. So y'all know he's gonna have it. But he got some wonderful things coming up, as you guys have seen by now. Some of the posts that is up already. So he's definitely going to be bringing out even more content to you all, but we'll be here for I guess the next 2 weeks, so we'll be back over here next week again. And if you guys want to catch the pre-show, which is Preparing for Love, next week I believe we're going to talk about how our families are messing up our relationships or helping our relationships. So that's what we'll be talking about next week. This week was ex-lovers and friends, so yes, that's why we brought an ex to the show. It wasn't to be messy, though. Everybody want to take it there now. Yes, Steve. See, now I'm acting like Shantasia.
I know.
Don't take me down. Don't take. Why you gonna take me down with you?
Yeah.
Just drown on your
I'm
own.
bringing
Don't
cases
take me
on all
down.
you. You're gonna do me like this. Oh, somebody. Oh, Life of Bosch. Spill the tea. Somebody flew brother out. What?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a wedding. He's doing his weddinging.
Oh, somebody flew them out to the States. Drop the teas.
Okay.
No, he's in South Africa. You know that, right?
I know.
Okay.
You know, I'm being a little messy because he
Right,
got.
I was like, that's
Don't you start no rumors. You're
That's
gonna
some
get
rumors.
Kojo
You start a lot.
subscribers
You make some
all,
posts. Right, I'm gonna make all kind of
railed
posts.
up.
Yes, the spirit of
They're
Sean.
gonna
Yeah.
have their feelings
Right.
hurt like they Kia.
The spirit of Sean propels you.
But again, thank you guys all for coming. Please like, share, subscribe. If you're watching this on the replay, leave your comments down below. If you disagree, agree with anything we are saying, we are here for it. We like the commentary. We like to go back and forth. And before I go, my peoples, you guys want to drop some where they can find you, what you know got going on, let them know.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I was like, I don't know if Sean wanted to go first, but please go to Crystal Annette on YouTube tomorrow night. Misha Allen, or 6 p.m. Eastern. Misha Allen and I are going to be doing our Ready to Love, and we're combining Ready to Love and Put a Ring on It on our show. And then a couple weeks ago, I did The Marriage Minded Man, and I had a really great panel of men. And I'm actually getting my panel together for The Marriage Minded Woman together, and I'm bringing a couple of the ladies panels back as well. So yeah, please go to Crystal Annette on YouTube and subscribe to myself and Misha Allen. That's it. Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Sean, what you got going on, brother?
Sure. So listen, I have been on a little self-care break from my channel, Sean Unfiltered, but definitely content is coming soon. So yes, that's where you can find me there, or on Sean Davis 120 on IG.
Okay, so I haven't talked to Sean about this, but I'm gonna ask him now in front of y'all. And if he say no, he ain't got time on Mondays. That's just what it is. Okay, but since Put a Ring is back on, should we do Mondays on Put a Ring, Sean? Or
Yeah, why not?
okay, so we'll be doing Mondays live. I'll Put a Ring on it. So we'll be back with that. I'll probably try. I don't know, I hate making promises with you guys, but I'm back and watching Atlanta. So I'm gonna see if I can work my schedule to start dropping some content on Atlanta and stuff, because that it started off with a bang already. These 2 past episodes was crazy and nuts or whatnot. So yeah, we be back on that. And Sean, you know, you do the benediction so well. So we let you hit it out with the bang like you always do.
Okay, listen, I mean, this episode, I think between the panelists and the chat, we made the episode more exciting than it was. But I think, you know, listen, we got the resort coming, so it's about to be on and popping. Some lessons I think we would take from each couple. Tori, please, come on, bro. Put your armor on, gird up. We need to bring some strength. You know, David brought us take the strength out of the room. We need you to bring the strength in the room, Tori. Bring the strength to the process, bro. You know, we see it. We know you're a good dude, but bring the strength to the process. Don't let the ladies run ramshot all over you. All right, bro? Get your backbone up, brother. Donovan, I know you may think I'm wrong, but I think you just need to be clear. Do you want the kids or do you not? That's all. Do you want it or not? And I think just in life and in relationships, we can't try to say what we think people, you know, what we think they want to hear. And this is for all of us. We need to tell them how we feel, especially on major things, right? We need to be honest. We need to be upfront in our feelings, right? Wherever it is. And that goes for Ace. Please don't be ghosting brothers out here, you know, hurting brothers' feelings. Be upfront. If you're not in it, don't be in it. Don't leave brothers out, right? Same for the brothers with the sisters, you know, don't ghost. No ghosting, all right? You know, be upfront, be clear, speak your intentions, be honest in your dating process, and try your best not to, you know, trample on one another's feelings. So that's the benediction. I think Jay had to step away briefly. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the roundup of tonight. And please, definitely, you know, like Jay says, tell a friend who tells a friend, and tell your friend that, you know, gives all the gossip is like Pearl on 227. I'm aging myself. Tell that friend it's like Pearl in 227, but they do it via social media and they tell everybody's business. Tell them about another round and encourage them to like, share, and subscribe this great content.
And again, we'll be back here next week, everybody. So tune in again. We'll be back with the mess we have to address. All right, you guys have a great